We wish you a Merry Factmas. We wish you a Merry Factmas. We wish you a Merry Factmas and a happy new pronouns. That's all the holiday cheer you're getting out of me. Hello. Howdy, howdy. We must made a new song about you. It's cute. Listen. I know. You think I haven't heard it? Uh, I'll play it soon. Is it too early? I'll play it soon. Here, I'll have it up so we have it at the appropriate moment. Hello. I'm sorry that I didn't stream the past 2 days. I really wanted to. Unfortunately, I've just had a bit of a headache, and veteran viewers will know that my headaches have sometimes taken me out for nearly a week. You know, I don't get them that often. And by the way, I haven't gotten a headache in a long time. So I guess I'll attribute that to better eating and exercise. But um, yeah. Anyway, you know, just trying to be careful about that sort of thing. Hi, Vosh. My sister stopped being a transphobe recently, so that's good news. Nice, Jason here. I'm happy to hear that. Unless, of course, she's hiding it and waiting to deploy it at the most opportune moment. You know, decades pass. So you grow more and more comfortable with your non-transphobic sister until finally on your deathbed she drops it on you. That she never actually wished you a Merry Factmas with happy new pronouns. What the fuck is pig head? It's pigeon! That's pigeon's head! Oh. Doesn't she look edible? She's like a little meatball. Doing hard drugs on stream too. Yeah, just what are these called? Excedrins this time. My preferred anti-headache medication. Anyway, before we get to anything immediately political, look at this photo. I can't get over this photo of Blair White and Joe Rogan. I can't get over it. Honest to God, he's 5 heads tall. I don't know if I've ever seen. I just want to say, I wanna appreciate Blair for being a real homie here. You know, a real cool one for shortening herself. I'm assuming for both of their pride. You know, I feel like Blair would care as much about being shorter than a man as Joe would care about being taller than a woman. She's not shortening herself. Yes, she is. Look, she's leaning. She's bending one knee forward like significantly. There's no way to maintain your regular height while doing that. Yeah, we need Shapiro next to them. It really is incredible though. Isn't it? Because he does Joe Rogan not look like a shaved dwarf fucked Alex Jones and just sort of produced a, you know, like proportionally, yeah, his head is huge. I don't know if that's a roid thing or whatever, but just, yeah. The anti-Hassan, yeah, true. I just, yeah. Shapiro's next to him. Yeah, for reference, Shapiro is actually taller than Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is quite short. Yeah, I know. It's yeah, we always talk about Ben Shapiro being the small one, but really I think that, you know, and proportionally, Joe Rogan looks a lot smaller because, you know, he's very muscular. Um and of course we all know the picture with Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson where Jordan has to like lean way down. So there's like a descending chain of you know, like height going on here. I think Jordan Peterson's 6'2". I think. I think he's around there, you know. Is 5'8" really that's small, or does he just lie about his height? Oh, Ben lies about his height. He's not 5'8". I've seen photos, plenty of photos of him next to other people. He's not 5'8". He's probably I'm guessing he's probably 5'5". He's either 5'4" or 5'5", which would put Joe, I'm guessing either 5'2" or 5'3". Uh, so yeah, which means Blair White must be on her own quite short, really. You know. All the trans women that I know are tall as fuck. They're like 6'2" or whatever. So I don't know if there's some relationship there necessarily, but I think it's quite normal, really, to be height mogged by trans girls. It's something they should be proud of. You know? How tall is Demon Mama? Is that public info? Do I don't want to height dox her. Is that public info? She's 5'5". Well, she's like leaning or bending. I'm trying to height dox, but she's tall as fuck. She brags about being tall. Oh, Demon Mama is massive. She's larger than I am. She's taller than I am. Yeah. Just absolutely a powerful frame. Yeah. She's like greater than 6 foot. Oh, she's well greater than 6 foot. Yeah, I'm 6'2". 6'1 3/4", actually. Demon Mama is a good bit taller. I chose to be manlet, I guess. Well, your spirit did, at least, you know. I'm a huge trans girl, and I'm like 80-20 on loving it / hating it. I've said this before, you know. I do like being a guy. I think there are quite a few benefits to it. I'm not really opposed to the idea of being a woman, I think. You know, if I could be like snap finger cis woman or whatever. There are a couple of things I would mind though. First of all, I would despise the idea of being physically weak and small, you know? Cis women are they're like birds, you know? I mean, it's ridiculous. I know that I'm on the larger end as cis men go, but still, you know. They're so small and weak. And I would hate not being taken as seriously. That would bother me a lot too. I don't think there's any way around that. Also, I'd still want to have a penis. I'm sorry, I have no interest whatsoever in it's not called bottoming when cis women are taking dick in the pussy, but I have no interest. Yeah, I want to have a penis. But apart from that, you know, if I was some sort of muscular 6'3" anime girl with a dick, sure, whatever. Well, I guess everyone on Earth would be that, right? That doesn't make me special. I'm pretty sure that if you asked like the average person, like 80% of people would be like 6'3" muscular anime girl with a dick. Yeah, sure. I don't think I'm special in that respect. Hello, Doe. Yeah, we're talking about advanced gender theory. Is it normal to want to be a girl? No, I don't want to be a girl because as I've clearly explained to you, there are issues being a girl. The one that you can't get over really is that no one takes you seriously. That's the main thing, okay? So that no one takes you seriously. Listen, in terms of being taken seriously, masculine cisgender guy is at the top of that totem pole, and everything else is movement down towards the bottom. Though I have to admit, I do kind of wonder what the online political space would look like if there was a woman who had a comparable size and affect to myself, you know? Like if there was somebody, because there are, of course, huge content creators of my size or larger who do this sort of thing, you know, Crystal Ball, Shu doesn't really do what I do, but you know what I mean? Like there are people like that, but they don't really do the like aggressive debate, you know, like confidence kind of thing. Crystal does more institutional, you know, shows and a little closer to the you know, the establishment stuff, and Shu makes whatever the fuck Shu makes. Just wonder how that would go. Demon Mama does? Yeah, I mean of my size though. It's also like the relative influence, you know. But yes. I just don't think because you don't get taken as seriously. You're talking about Demon Mama? I said my size. I said like the large, you know. Because the thing is you're not taken as seriously. I feel like you couldn't really do what I do if you weren't a guy, you know? Not because you couldn't do the arguments or whatever, just you wouldn't be able, your following wouldn't be able to amass the aggressive energy. Like the people who need to take you seriously wouldn't, or at least they'd be less likely to. which is unfortunate. I don't want to deal with that. Okay, I quite like the default presumption of seriousness, which is funny for me to say, because people get attacked. Sorry, people attack me all the time online. But yeah. Oh yeah, for sure, Tempest, for sure. Contrapoints train her to debate. Contra can't debate. Not a chance. Sorry. Look, it's the there's certainly something to the feminine affect that removes you from being able to effectively navigate the online space in the way that I do. Okay. What is it? The feminine urge to not spend 8 hours a day violently brawling with the rest of the online lefty community. I feel. Listen, okay. To put it another way, okay, Contra has enough to deal with without the added pressures brought about by. Can you imagine how Contra would? Listen, I'm not dumping on her. Okay, I love her content. So glad she's online. But can you imagine how Contra would handle even like a week of my treatment? All the lefty subs have posted like massive hate docs that are borderline Kiwi Farms tier in terms of how they treat you, like the Jimmy Dore types and the tankies, just nonstop 24/7. I feel like it'd be a bit much, because she's already got her stuff, and then you add all that on. Contra gets canceled over the smallest things. Again, I say this with the greatest of respect, but as I've grown larger, Contra's cancellations have really gotten quite minor, I think, in retrospect. It's usually like a day or two of aggressive tweeting from pit crew avatars. Okay, I'm proud to say that I have wildly surpassed Contra in my ability to attract the ire and derision of people online. Yeah, so not the best competition to win, mind. Good for Contra. I hope I'm a lightning rod. I hope I take some of the energy away. Yeah, I've got like multiple subreddits attacking me. It's the lefty Discord, not Discord, the Reddit mod. Dozens of subreddits. Whatever. I'm glad that I'm here. I feel like most people couldn't do this. I feel like 80% of my, like maybe 20% of my skill is like analysis, insight, debate, and 80% of it is allowing online hatred to wash off of me like water on wax paper. I feel like that's like 80% of the skill that I bring this job. Or to put it another way, if you were to substitute another person in my place, that I think is where they would fuck up. That's the high skill threshold right there. The 20%, debating. Who do I even do debates anymore? Not really. Trying to fix that, by the way. It is hard to find purposeful debates. The difficulty that I have, and I've said this before. The difficulty that I have is, for me, debating is a means to an end. I don't do it for its own sake, though I do think it's quite fun. I like debates because they help you guys familiarize yourselves with the processes by which you can respond to arguments on the fly. And that's very important to me. That's a skill the left lacks, the ability to just right there, come up with an argument, respond to something. That's very important. Rhetorical skill, but you have to handle that stuff responsibly. And the issue that I've had is that it seems like, I don't doubt it, Sam. Yeah, that would work. Debate the fans of a YouTuber. The issue is that there are plenty of ways to manage debates poorly. So, for example, the whole Destiny Lauren Southern thing. Now Lauren Southern's like, some prominence again, and what? Why? Attention given, nothing gained except YouTube views, really. Not worth it. Not a good trade-off. You debate people when you think there will be good outcomes, and the rhetorical end of things will always be a good outcome for you guys, I think, and it will always get my channel views, but it's also preferable to me that you not jumpstart bad people's careers. So conservative shows, platforms, podcasts. It's the reason why I didn't go to the what's it called? The Better Discourse Conference? The Better Discourse Conference. Because to me, it's a bit bullshit, I'm a leftist, and a large one at that, huge, even relative to the size of other people in the online left. Yes, MythCon. Um, so if I go there, what do I get? Right? Will I get maybe one or two YouTube videos out of it? You know, I go on a panel or two. What do they get? Well, the conservative platform gets a huge amount of attention for having hosted me. And all the conservatives there, of which there are no doubt quite a few, I didn't actually look at the guest list, but I know who they tend to platform. They're all going to get content by adjacency. You know? Oh, they're going to talk to me for 10 minutes here. Ooh, have a talk with me, blah, blah. And the total exchange of attention given is very much in their favor, in the favor of the conservatives. Any type of engagement or exposure is a two-way street of relative attention afforded and gained. That's why Ben Shapiro doesn't have any old Twitter person on his podcast. You have to be careful with who you talk to. So I think that I'm limited at this point to talking to people who are either my size or larger, or around that, not exactly my size, but in the ballpark. People who I feel have no chance of developing any meaningful career out of the attention I give them, or people who I don't think the attention that I give them can be leveraged into some kind of meaningful advocacy, if that makes any sense. Do you understand what I'm saying? Hopefully you understand what I'm getting at here. It's one of the reasons I don't mind the whole tanky debates quite as much, even though I feel like they're a bit oversaturated on my channel. It's because the online tanky space is really quite small. It's not like a very large one. And they're very insular. So I feel like whenever I talk, like when I talk with Mel, for example, right? Could have handled that debate a bit better. Could have been more sexist, to start. That would have been helpful. But, she got some Twitter followers after that. But did it increase the total number of tankies in the world? The total number of red fascists? I don't really think so. I think it just put eyes on the one that I talked to, but I don't think it moved people over, spurred a career or anything like that. So, anyway, lots of thoughts to go into it, but I have to be responsible. Otherwise, this whole YouTube channel is nothing more than a project to my own self-gratification, which I never wanted it to be. I mean, obviously I care about the political goals. Yes, Danky Kang was a lunatic. Don't you think overthinking all this could lead to things getting a bit dull? No, I don't think I'm overthinking this. I think that I'm putting the same amount of thought into this as most anyone who cares about political outcomes in my position should. It's just a basic responsibility of being a public figure. Now, the difficulty is thinking about this and then navigating, the outcome. Like, well, now how do we get debates? And I've had a couple of thoughts, so we'll get working on it. Don't worry. We'll have a nice, rotational stuff lately. Want to have a conversation with smaller leftists with different perspectives? Because it's boring as hell. I'm sorry. I hate the friendly convos with lefties are, unless you're coming at me with some crazy, wicked sick info that I'm going to grow from as a person, I get super bored. Like, friendly collab stuff. And you guys get bored too, and I can tell because you never watch those videos. Those videos where I talk to the IWW representatives, people with real experience in helping people build unions, half the views or less of adjacent videos where I make fun of Ben Shapiro for 5 minutes. I know what you all like. You don't want that either. The indigenous activist was great. Yes, of course. And I learned quite a bit from that. Also, that was relevant to some immediately interesting drama. It wasn't just an impromptu conversation. Oh, of course they're important resources, but a lot of convos, if you've watched me for any length of time, you know that a lot of convos with lefties are just like, yeah, I think we should do this, and oh, wow, you think that? Well, I also thought that. It's almost like we have 99% of the same views and just approach them a different way. Oh, oh my, wow, you really do think that, we need to, work on this right now? Or, yeah, stuff like that. I know. Yeah, Zan, the viewers will deny it, but the numbers speak for themselves. Real policy talk slash productive convos don't bring in viewers. Well, I think it's the issue isn't policy talk or productive convos. It's you have to frame them appropriately. Just doing it in a friendly back and forth convo doesn't bring in viewers. But if you can find a way to deliver the policy talk, the productive convos in ways people find engaging, that I think there's a reason why in my talk with Kyle Kulinski, the title opens with confronting him on his old tweets, okay? I know that's half the reason that video is 200,000 views or so, okay? And it hurt me to put that in, you know? Because I thought the whole convo was great, but I know what YouTube is like, and I know what people click on, so I... But it still sucks. I feel like when I do that, because I'm the one who wrote that title, I feel like I'm being very cynical, you know? Like... You know, like, oh, my viewers are too dumb to appreciate the real convo. But the numbers are what they are. And frankly, I fall for clickbait too. So it's not like I'm any better. I know I'm smart and I'll still, oh, this video is, you know, gonna show me 10 tips to do Kegels. Whatever. There's actually a channel, I know this is a stun lock. I love you guys. I swear we'll get to content soon. There's actually a channel that I'm quite fond of. Also, I don't know if I've said, but hello to all the fine people in chat. Shu, Zan, Do. Say vermin, but you live with me. Anyway, there's a channel that I quite like here called Zully the Witch. They do hacking in the Dark Souls or From Software games, where they like show off hidden content, that kind of stuff. But anyway, every single one of these titles is clickbait. It's remarkable, actually. Great view counts too for these short videos. It's probably better they got to redo this. Down the well. Why they axed this axe. Sometimes characters get shuffled around. Did she send the crow to rescue you? Why is this place so weirdly big? Look at this video right here. Why is this place so weirdly big? Okay. Now, this is a video on the, what is it? The Witch's Abode in Bloodborne? Something like this? The Witch's Abode, right? If this video had been titled, Exploring the Interior of the Witch's Abode, it would have a quarter the views that it does. But it doesn't. Sometimes our interest in a video really is framed by the expectations set in the title. We like to think ourselves smarter than that, but we're not. We are monkeys. And lizards. We are lizard monkeys. Bavash, what is your response to people who say, quote, well, isn't that essentially the excuse Stephen Coldfeet Crowder used against Sam Cedar? Yeah, couple points. First of all, he's lying. Sam Cedar is a hugely relevant figure, so critically, he's lying. That's a big part of that. Now, you could say you don't want to bolster Sam Cedar's career. The issue is that Stephen Crowder, excuse me. The issue is that Stephen Crowder does the debate jump shark thing himself. He does his change my mind. He'll spring debates on people. He'll try to... So for him to then complain, you know, about somebody else doing it to him is a little bit funny. Additionally, you can't even really speak to the clout engagement because Sam Cedar is not as large as Ethan Klein. That's true. However, since Ethan Klein's presence there was a guarantee that the same audience would be accessing the potential debate between Sam Cedar and Stephen Crowder, the decision not to debate him wasn't one which could have been borne by some utilitarian analysis of the relative harm or benefit of debating. The audiences were the same either way. The truth is clear. Stephen Crowder feared Sam Cedar because Sam Cedar was a better interlocutor than Crowder. Massively so. No other explanation makes sense there. Excuse me. Especially since they hadn't debated before. I mean, if they had some rapport, you know, or if they debated, say for example, if they'd already debated 13 times over the course of 10 years, and one of them just kept trying to jump on to panels to talk to him. You know, maybe that's a bit of a different story, all things considered. But considering all the circumstances, I think that Sam Cedar was well in his right to call him out for his cowardice. A couple things before we get to the content proper. First of all, I love you. My headache feels non-existent, which is nice. We'll get to the damn song. Second of all, what was it I was going to get to? Okay, quick point before we move forward. Quick point. Okay. Very irrelevant. Have any of you, played Witcher Thronebreaker? The Witcher Chronicles? Excuse me. Okay, I see somebody saying yes, so good. I started playing it 3 days ago, and I have 30 hours in. I found it extraordinarily good. I'm almost astonished. I'm really taken aback. 10 hours a day. Well, I've been sick the past 2 days. The headache, and playing games calms my headaches because I'm distracted. So, yeah. Is it as well written as 3? I'd say better, honestly. I really feel like oh God, let me just take a moment if I could, you know. I really like what I've seen of the Witcher universe because I like stories that feel like they incorporate real world political analysis instead of it just sort of being like, you know, like Lord of the Rings isn't really like political. You know what I mean? Like Lord of the Rings has kings and queens with political figures, and they do things that political figures would do. But there's not really political analysis in Lord of the Rings. You know, it's a hero story. Things happen because heroes do this and bad men do that. Whereas, you know, in the Witcher, I've heard the word pogrom, you know, like an ethnic cleansing, used like 8 times in the story so far. It's so brutally realistic, and I love it. I love it so much. Really enjoying the hell out of it. Pretty good, but the gameplay gets repetitive after a while. Well, I haven't played enough of it to really get tired of the gameplay yet. Yes, I'm a fan of Joseph Anderson's series on The Witcher. Anyway, I'd recommend it. If you guys would be interested. It's not as overt as other examples like Dune or Game of Thrones. Actually, I'll give you a hot take, okay? I actually think that no, I haven't read the Song of Ice and Fire books, nor have I read the Witcher books. But if we're just talking about adaptational material, that is to say, the Game of Thrones TV series, relative to what I have seen from Witcher, which is the third Witcher game, both of the expansions, Thronebreaker, at least the first half of it, and the Netflix show, I actually think The Witcher is significantly more intelligent with its writing. I actually do believe that. I think that sometimes, at least from what I've seen, some of the political and narrative elements in at least the adaptations of Game of Thrones harken a little bit too much towards a deliberate effort at averting expectation. Now, I haven't read the books. I have not read the books, so I cannot comment on that. How'd you feel about the Witcher TV show with Henry Cavill? Loved it. Also, Henry's like a giga Chad. He's like a giga Chad's giga Chad. Whew. See, there's going to be a Dune RTS game at PC. No, I'd love to play that though. A Dune RTS. What a match made in heaven. Oh my god. With the melee troops and like the las guns that would like cut through and like kill an explosion. Oh my god, that could be really good. Space Marine 2. I didn't watch any of the Game Awards. I'll probably watch it tonight. Yeah, Witcher is very sociologically driven. There were 2 bits in there that I really, really liked, you know? There's a terrorist group called the Scoia'tael in The Witcher. They're basically elves, for the most part, sometimes dwarves, who kill humans because they feel that they're being oppressed by the majority human kingdoms, right? And there was actually discussion on how there are elves and dwarves who hate the Scoia'tael because the Scoia'tael's attacks on human settlements cause humans to retaliate against the elf and dwarf minorities in most human cities, meaning that the terrorist groups perpetuate the discrimination through retribution. But it's like this double evil kind of thing, like because the humans are in the wrong for retaliating against the minority groups also. So the whole theme of the Witcher series appeals to me so much because it's all about choosing the lesser evil. That is literally the main theme of the entire story. That you have Geralt, who is, you know, he's supposed to be all principled, you know, if it comes to 2 evils, I'd rather choose neither. Which, he's lying when he says that. He's lying. That's the point. He's lying when he says that. In all the games, in all the stories, you're constantly choosing in situations where no matter what you do, something bad will happen, and you have to intelligently navigate what what the best. Yeah, he's always compelled to do something. It's not lying, it's just bad writing. No, no, no. It's very deliberate. He says it in the show and in the games, and immediately afterwards, he's being forced to make choices. He's lying to himself. He wants to think he's above it all, but he's absolutely not. He's 100% just at least in that respect lacking a bit in self-awareness. He's always being pushed to do stuff. Oh, and sorry, there was one other bit as well. I don't think this is a spoiler if any of you actually play Thronebreaker, but in you know how dwarves hoard gold? It's like one of the things that sort of one of the fantasy stereotypes about them, I think. But in the Thronebreaker, you know, a dwarf is asked of that, and they actually give a really compelling explanation as to why. You know, they're basically accused of being dragons, that they just hoard gold for the sake of it. You know, and the dwarf responds and says, "Well, no, actually, you know, since dwarves tend to live in isolated mountain kingdoms, we actually hold on to gold so that if humans ever invade our lands, we can just sell off our gold at low prices and crash human economies." They don't actually use gold for internal economic stuff. They use copper coins. The gold they hoard because they know humans use it. Isn't that wild? That's actually brilliant. For internal commerce, they use copper. But if they ever get invaded, they can just dump, like, the fantasy equivalent of billions of gold, and instantly all the price of everything, and then the kings couldn't pay their soldiers because gold would be a tenth the value it was before. Like, that's actually brilliant. Like, they're taking the Swiss bank Cayman Islands approach towards, you know, economic protection. It's actually really smart. And I never thought I'd always thought, like, in a fantasy context, the idea that dwarves are just greedy is sufficient for me, you know. But they actually took the time and effort to incorporate like a decent real world idea, you know. So I'm really enjoying Thronebreaker. I would encourage you guys to play it. It's basically just a narrative game with light decision making, where all the battles are resolved via a game of Gwent, which 30 hours in I've yet to tire of. So, you know, if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. Gwent was the card game introduced as a side thing in Witcher. Yeah, sorry about the stun lock. I'm just really excited to talk to you guys. Not streaming for 2 days hurts, you know. I like you guys. But okay. All right. Watch you play Gwent only in the Thronebreaker single player, you know, not beyond that. Anyway. All right, content it is. Okay. So, you know, I had a bit of a brain blast just the other day. And by the other day, I mean this morning. I don't know why I defaulted to saying the other day. But remember those Face Your Hater videos that came out from the New York Post? We watched 2 of them. One of them had Blair White in it, debating a Muslim woman, you know? These were really funny, weren't they? So I looked at the playlist, of which there are only 6, and the last one says, "Feminist debates misogynist on #MeToo and the gender pay gap." And I love that. Feminist debates misogynist. Put it in quotes if you want, but
I believe
you know,
strongly.
no. Shh. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't shush a woman. Feminist at that. Here, hold on. Let's see if he's a misogynist or a misogynist. You know, am I a misogynist or am I a misogynist? We'll, you know, jury's still out on that one.
In the rights of women and in the need for a continuing feminist movement. I've been a feminist all my life.
I'm often called a misogynist by various
Okay, I know his title. I know it says anti-feminist and he's a bodyguard, but I like to believe he's an anti-feminist bodyguard, you know, in that, what is it, like he protects a man if women get too close, he tackles them, you know?
feminists. I think there's something very insidious about this new third-wave feminism that we're seeing brewing.
And today, we still need a strong feminist and Me Too movement.
I think the idea of toxic masculinity is a ruse, and I don't think there's anything really substantial when it comes to the pay gap. I think the statistics are skewed.
When I run up against people who fundamentally disagree with me, it's really a question usually of education and of explaining to them that this is a people's movement. Hi, I'm...
Oh, a people's movement. Oh my God, Shu, are you watching? We might get you on board with a feminist cause for once. She's invoking the right language. If this feminist lady says the elites at any point during this conversation, I feel like we've got it in the bag.
I'm Judy.
Dominic, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I was hoping that he would try to go for the instant debate win and just crush her hand, like in the handshake, you know? I didn't see her wince, but you know, look at the guy's arms. His just like open up and just break her hand and be like, oh, guess I won.
So, Dominic, why do you think we're here today?
I think we're here to talk about women's issues, and I see the modern feminist movement as pushing victimization as opposed to empowerment. It almost seems, and I'm going to say this from a personal perspective, it almost seems that the idea is to castigate men to a certain degree.
I think that's an old idea.
For instance, the Me Too movement has been almost 100% women, you know? Almost 100%. And then we're getting the little bits here and there. Now, I know a lot.
Yeah? I think women face more workplace sexual harassment than men. I think, as I understand it to be the case.
A lot of guys who were
I do too.
sexually harassed.
I know a lot of guys.
Man, why is this always the default argument? Like, feminism is bad. I know of guys who have been harassed. Well, okay. First of all, it is true that Me Too generally focuses on the experiences of women, but I don't think it's exclusionary. I'm pretty sure I've heard about people talk like the men's, side of things. And additionally, Me Too doesn't carve space away. Like I don't understand what the criticism is here. Like yeah, Terry Crews was sexually harassed, and I think that's a good one to focus on too, because Terry Crews is as strong as 2 or maybe even 3 oxen, So I think his being harassed kind of takes away from the idea that it's somehow a product of weakness,
Guys who self-identify as feminists. I think the Me Too movement is a really necessary movement. It's a we too, not just a Me Too. It's a we too. It's men and women banding together.
Not
to
Me
say
Too.
That harassment
We Too
is not okay. Traditionally, it's been more aimed at women because
I don't know about that.
there's more sexual harassment of women.
I don't know about that either.
Look, I'm a big advocate for the idea that men get a lot of harassment that isn't talked about, and rape and so on. I do feel like women probably get more workplace sexual harassment than men do. But even then, like, how is this an attack against feminism? So if you think there's more men, then like, what do you want? What do we do?
Really?
And I tell you why. I think there's a dual standard here.
Have you been harassed sexually?
I have. I've actually been touched.
Oh, that's a bad question to ask. First of all, it's not relevant. Second of all, if they have, huge optics loss right there.
As working in bars, I've had my genitals squeezed.
Well,
and you know something in
bodyguard. So is he a bouncer? They said bodyguard, but if you're bodyguards, I don't think get felt up. Bouncers do. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, he said bar. Oh, bar bodyguard. Okay, so yeah, a bouncer, I think.
And how'd you react?
In all fairness, I didn't mind it.
Was it by a man or a woman?
It was by. Well, I would have minded it if it was a bloke.
Okay, and what if it was a bloke?
I would have been pissed off.
Right. And why would you have been pissed off?
Because it's a bloke.
Did this guy just crush his own argument? Wait, how are you going to be mad at the feminist for being exclusionary towards men when you're saying that you don't mind sexual harassment as long as it doesn't feel gay? Like, you're doing the thing. Okay, yeah, because it's a bloke. Because it's a bloke. Because it's a bloke.
And why would you have been pissed off? Because you didn't give that person the right to touch
Exactly.
you. And that's what
But
women
what
are
I'm saying is this.
You
I
don't
understand
have the
that. I
right to
understand
touch
that.
me
I
unless
understand
I
that.
tell you you have the
I
right to touch me.
understand. I understand 100%.
That's
But
bottom
what
line
I'm
what
saying
it's
is
about.
this. Nobody's accusing people like Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt of sexual harassment.
What?
Why are they accusing Harvey Weinstein? Because
First of all, I'm pretty sure the sexual misbehavior of Hollywood actors is like an almost perpetually discussed subject. Second of all, I can think of at least 5 reasons Weinstein was accused of sexual harassment. Probably more than 5. Was this in question in 2019? Yeah, this is April 3rd, 2019. So it was probably recorded a few months before that.
because he's not very attractive and he's more
Really? You know, you got me. That's why they got Weinstein. You know, maybe that's the here. Wait, we should just do like full on incel phrenology right now. Okay. Hey, I'm about to explain facts of the world to you guys. Get ready for it. Okay. Harvey Weinstein. All right. 2 out of 10. 1.5 maybe. No wonder he got Me Too'd. Honestly, when the women were riding the cock carousel, they didn't like this horse on the buggy. I don't know. Anyway, Epstein, easily above 5 out of 10. Solid green line check. You know, billionaire. I guess Weinstein was too. Was he a billionaire? Millionaire? That's why he got away with it for so long. It was because of his looks-maxing privilege. Because, you see, Weinstein was short. I don't know how tall he is, actually. But Epstein height-mogged people, which... Can I be done with this? Just, what are we talking about?
morbidly obese. If
No,
it was
because-
Brad Pitt,
no.
most women would be all over it. Oh, God, come over here, touch me front bottom.
It's actually incredible because, you know, apart from the leaving aside the sentiment there, I think the fact that front bottom is a term he feels comfortable. Oh yeah, wait, reach inside of me fort asshole. Yeah. Oh, look at that. It's me forward shitter. What do you? Do we? There are so many things that I want to say, and I don't want to get in TOS for it. You know, I feel like I'm really being artistically limited by this. I feel like we should have on my stream deck a way of, like, I can press a button and some form of this image shows up. Maybe it doesn't need the text. Like, it should just be like him with the lightning, you know? And he just like he just flashes like for a second. I could get like an animation of that easy, you know, like you hit it and then it's just like, vroom, you know what I mean? Or like an emote, something like that. Because this is a powerful image, you know. You can circumnavigate. Yeah, right. I feel like. Okay, at the very least, this needs to be an emote. Okay, can my emote smiths cut out the face, maybe a little bit of the neck, I think, and maybe get like sort of a lightning effect? Do you think we can do that for a GIF that loops? We need a looping GIF. No, hold on, Galley, I love you. We need do you have image editing? We need the professionals, okay? We need the meme smiths down in the forge, okay? We need the GIFers. Wow, Galley, I don't know what your image editing software prowess is. Wait, I don't know. Do you have skills I'm not aware of? Yeah, no, I can't make this. That's what I thought, Galley. That's what I thought. All right.
Maybe it's because Brad Pitt hasn't been out there harassing women in the way that Harvey Weinstein has.
That's a possibility, but it's not really.
Oh, the only reason Weinstein got caught and Brad Pitt hadn't is because Weinstein's a fat bloke and Brad Pitt's hot. You know, they love him touching their front sphincters. Oh, do you think it might be because, like, Brad Pitt isn't harassing people? Oh, it could be that, sure.
A probability, especially in Hollywood the way it is. What I don't want is for men in general to be blamed for what the...
Oh, yeah, sorry. There you go. Take care of yourselves, guys. We love you. Okay? This is some of my responsibility. All right, just...
I want is for men in general to be blamed for what the minority's done.
And I can understand that. It's not...
Okay, I like how he doesn't want men in general to be blamed right after talking about how women would like being sexually harassed if Brad Pitt was the one doing it. Like, my dude, it's not men. You're doing it. It's you. You're a man and you're doing it. It's not all men, you know. It's about individual accountability. How is it that, like, I'm guessing this guy is conservative. That's just a guess that I have. How is it that these guys are like rugged individualists all the time, except when people are like, hey, can you guys take personal responsibility for your bad behavior? And they're like, oh, you want us men, the collective, to take responsibility. What, you want me and the commune of all other 4 billion men to collectively take fuck you.
Not a question of blame. It's a question of all of us really understanding what the dynamics have been historically. It's not men versus women, it's men and women.
Obviously, the statistics
she's got good on it, you know.
Women make 82 cents on the dollar,
Right.
whatever it is.
Right.
What are the factors that determine that?
Because traditionally, men have been in the position of deciding what wage is. They are in the power
All right,
position.
so let
They
me
are
give
the
you
bosses.
this. In middle...
Okay. So unfortunately, the argument here is a little bit too nuanced. We'll see how it goes, but like, hold on.
And upper management, most people negotiate the salaries.
No, they fucking don't. He's literally about to make the argument that men get paid more because they have the cojones to march into their boss's office and negotiate a better salary. This dude doesn't negotiate his salary. He's a fucking bodyguard. There's no way this guy... He's a meathead. If this guy wanted to ask for higher wages, he'd be fired the next day and another meathead would be brought in. Like, what's this guy talking about? This guy is like hardcore projecting what his dad told him when he was a kid. Like, you know, he's thinking like, all right, well, maybe I wasn't able to... Maybe I wasn't able to, you know, negotiate me wages, but, you know, if I want for a proper job.
They do. They go in and say, well, I've got this amount of experience. I'd like this as opposed to that.
She's like, yeah.
Are you saying that women are just not as good as negotiating their salaries?
A lot of women do have a hard...
I have an argument against sexism. What if women are simply worse at doing this thing? Why did they bring this guy on here? Is it they literally were just like sent out a casting call for like misogyny or whatever? Oh, you said people in management? Did he just say management? Hold on. Just let me...
The statistics are that women make 82 cents on the dollar,
Right.
whatever it is.
Right.
What are the factors that determine that?
Because traditionally, men have been in the position of deciding what wage is. They are in the power
All right,
position.
so let
They
me
are
give
the
you
bosses.
this. In middle and upper management,
Oh, middle and upper management. Oh, wait. Okay. How many workers does that describe? Why are we talking about middle and upper management? What does that have to do with... It's 82 cents. I don't know how you guys keep hearing 2 cents. 82 cents.
Have a hard time really negotiating their salaries because they're in a situation where they're more dependent on a male for the employment opportunities, right?
okay.
He said eggy too. Okay, listen. Both these people are wrong, okay? One of them is British and one of them is a woman. Listen, okay? Here's the truth of the matter. First of all, if you control for all other factors, all right, women make less than men about 3%. It's about 96 to 97 cents per dollar. Even if you account for everything, like same job, same experience, same everything, women still make on average a little bit less, which is a meaningful amount, you know. 3% less per year is a meaningful difference. That is a significant difference. If you're making, you know, $50,000 a year or whatever, you know, that could potentially be like $1,500 extra or not. at the end of the at the end of the year. That is significant. But the reason why the traditional wage gap argument is it's like women make like 82 cents for every dollar a man makes is because women and men tend to have different jobs. All right. Now you're thinking, all right, well, if women choose to do X or Y work, and that doesn't pay as well, well, then, what are they complaining over? The issue, okay, is that to a large extent, wages are arbitrary and they're determined by the social worth we ascribe to positions, So fields that are heavily masculinized, which appeal to men and which cater to men and which sort of requisition men, tend to pay better than fields which do not. Classic example, okay? Teaching. Now, to my reckoning, elementary school teachers are like the bedrock of society. I mean, we're talking about like the foundation. Like we're talking about like the concrete laid upon the ground at which everything else is built, But they get paid nothing, right? There are lots of situations like that. Service work, fields where women tend to, come about more often. And while it's true that wages aren't like set by an elite cabal of evil misogynistic men, it's about the broader standards we hold. So here's an example. The most socially necessary work in existence, more so than virtually anything else except for perhaps agrarian work, is child rearing. Is it not? Literally. I mean, you literally cannot have a civilization without child rearing. You'd plop them out, they just sort of die there. You need to rear them, the child, and yet it's unpaid work, which is very strange. Just all over the world, we've accepted that child rearing is just unpaid work. It's just not a thing the state should pay people for. Why, I ask you? The state benefits from additions to its citizenry. It benefits from a higher population. Why? That's a bit odd. Seriously, if the point of salaries is to incentivize people to do good work. I mean, that's the goodest work there is, really. But we don't do it. And I think part of the reason for that is because the traditional family model in the industrialized world is men would go out and work and women would stay home and take care of the kids. But which of the two is doing the more important work? The mother raising 3 children who will soon grow to be productive citizens and spend the rest of their life contributing to society, or the man going to day drink in his office job? Being a bit stereotypical there, but really, social priorities do determine a lot of this stuff.
And so you're coming in a one-down position to begin with.
So it is victimization. Mm-hmm. So what you're saying is you do believe that women are victims, and the whole movement is based...
He opened by saying men were victims. That was his opening argument, that men are being victimized by women castrating them. That was literally the opening thing. God.
Victimization in the sense of they are treated as less than, yes, but that doesn't mean that they have to
they're treated differently.
But they don't have to remain victims.
It's to treat you differently in the context of them paying you less. Clearly, that means worse.
How about this?
And one of the good things that's happened is that you can no longer ask wage history, okay?
Right.
When you apply for a job, and that's going to help.
I don't know why women just don't start businesses, have Fortune 100 companies, and just hire women in the high...
Damn, crazy. Wait, and just hire women? Or is he advocating for workplace discrimination?
Highest paid positions. I don't know why we have to legislate this. I don't know why we can't just let the market dictate.
Wait, we're not. Wait. We're not talking about. No one was talking about legislation.
Because the market hasn't been fair. Okay, that's assuming that the market has been fair.
People should just get together and have these kind of conversations.
Don't cut her off.
I think that men and women can work together, and I think women should empower themselves by starting companies, employ women to powerful positions, and lead by example.
What position is he arguing against? She hasn't made any argument for some kind of like state mandated subsidy for women. What is he arguing? The only thing that she's said is that there's a pay gap, which that's a fact, and also that Me Too is good. None of this. What are we arguing against?
I think the victimization of women through the women's movement is good for anybody, women included.
He was victimizing himself.
Right now, It is time to tear down the patriarchy. We're fighting for opportunity. We're fighting to be treated as equals in the workforce and as equals in terms of our relationships with men, to really see that as fundamental to who we are as people. This is not a me movement or a you movement, it's an us.
This is a classic example of impotent rage. Yeah, this guy is legitimately too stupid to have this conversation. He hasn't even responded to anything she said. He just seems sort of angry at the idea of feminism existing.
Movement. And the only way it's going to change on any kind of real fundamental level is when men and
It's got a
women
little
work
cricket ball
together to
bouncing
change
around in
that.
there.
We need this continuing awareness of really, yes, how far we've come, but also how far we've got to go. Welcome to the fight.
They gave her the final word. I wonder if she's supposed to be the good guy.
With Dominic, and I think what we found was that on many issues we're not all that far apart.
I actually thought that was a cathartic exercise. I really enjoyed the conversation with Judy. I think more than anything, she's a very nice person, and I know she's extremely learned, so I can learn a lot from her.
But I think when he focuses more on what it means for all of us, inclusively, men and women, and how empowering that can really be for all of us, that he's beginning to understand his knuckles don't have to scrape the bottom of the floor quite the way they used to.
I think that a lot more conversations like this should happen between people of polar opinions.
Yeah, the issue is you can never crunch a discussion like this down into 6 minutes. 2 topics, too. If it was just one topic, 6 minutes might be enough for a decent thesis rebuttal on both sides, but 2 topics, 3 minutes per topic, or with like a 30-second intro and a minute-long outro, you've got what, 5, like 2.5 minutes per subject? It's just not enough. It's not enough. Yeah, how angry are the comments, do you think? He doesn't seem like a misogynist at all. She's infuriating to listen to? Oh my god. Really? She keeps interrupting him when he's actually got a point? Wait, they do realize that was the editors, right? Wait, do they know that? They do realize that the cuts between them were the editors, right? That's why they corresponded to camera jumps. Oh my god, they actually think that she was... Oh god. Whew. Alright, just... okay. That was a rough one. Hold on. Let me send that one off to the editors. Out into the meme forges. 1 second. Stop recording. Start recording. See, we're a bit low on segments because I didn't stream for 2 days. That's on me. You got to keep a consistent upload schedule. That's the best way to make money. And making money is what I need to do to pay off my debts. And by my debts, I mean my friends' debts. Tempest or Ryan, are either you in the chat or do I have to type in the Discord? Oh, hello, Ryan. Yeah, I'll title it and send it off when it's done. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Vosh is now a debt slave. It's the reason I did a TTS stream the other day. I've taken on a friend's debt. Yeah, Gelly. Which is quite a hefty sum, so I'm a little bit more money conscious at the moment. Mutual aid? Yeah, I guess you could call it that. Yeah, it's the people's debt now. It's all your debts now since you donate to me. Can you do another? Yeah, well, yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. We're playing the Metroid Prime trilogy. Which is, you know. Did you pay it off or are you paying it off? It's a lot. It's 130,000. So I am paying it off. I have not yet, but I'm working on it. Yeah, living's expensive. What do you want? Yeah, what is that? $130,000. We've got how many people watching? So 4,800 on YouTube and 500 on Twitch. So what? That's 5,300. If you're doing the math there, that's 5,300. What would that be? 25 bucks from each of you? Wow, that's a lot. Oh, geez, $130,000 is a lot of money. We'll worry about that later. No, stop. I'm not guilting you guys, okay? I'll be fine. Anyway, yes, we'll play the song soon. The song is a proper reward for you all being good. Now, hold on. I think we might be talking about the CIA arc, though. Let's see. Oh, there were people in chat saying that the amazing atheist was attacking me on Twitter, but, you know, this seems like anything but an attack, to be honest with you. I'm taking some big honkin' dicks, hoss. It's going to take a real honky-tonk man to satisfy cocks like these, hombre. This seems like, pro-me. Do you microwave your Totino's pizza rolls? Because that's gross, my guy. I don't like pizza rolls, but when I had them, you know, from time to time, we would oven bake them. Oh my god, thank you. I feel like, you know, you should always go for oven over microwave. The only exception, though, because you don't oven Pop-Tarts, but honest to God, I really do feel like microwaving Pop-Tarts for a second is like the same as putting them in the toaster. I can't tell a difference. I actually can't tell a difference between the two. Just like microwaving it for 20 seconds and toasting, I cannot tell the difference. Depends on the Pop-Tart. It could. I only eat like 2 or 3 flavors. Actually, I haven't been eating Pop-Tarts at all since my diet, so it used to be a big meme on the channel, but I don't eat anymore. No, guys, I wasn't trying to guilt you. Unfortunately, you know, it's not really $25 per, because this money doesn't all go to me. Only about 40% of what you give me goes to me. Less, actually, because PayPal has to take a cut. But that's life. You're only making us pay more. Oh, hush. Stop now, they're gonna give 50. Yeah. No. It's, there's no cheaper way to do this. Well, no, it's not a matter of cheaper. PayPal transfer fees aren't particularly harsh. The issue is that I have employees. Contractors, technically, I don't have an LLC. Also, I pay taxes, you know. So all the money that we make past a certain threshold, 20% of it goes each to Ryan and Tempest. Yeah, for sure, high progressive. And then, of course, I pay taxes, which at my income bracket would be about 30% total of any amount I make above the amount I typically make. So, yeah, thereabouts. I might be voting in a Republican next time, lads. You know, those tax cuts are just too sweet. Now that I'm in the pretty much like near the uppermost tax bracket, I don't know, guys. Hey, you know, I'm all about practicing what I preach. And what do I preach but class interest, right? I'm always a big advocate for the idea that people's economic realities determine a large part of their behavior. And how do you keep track of what you need to pay in taxes as a self-employed person? It's just about 30% of every dollar I make. Everything that goes to my bank account at the end of the month. Thereabouts, you know. Of course, you know, it's always better to just not spend much money and just have a lot to throw towards the tax man, should it be needed. And lie like crazy on your tax return. No, don't do that. Don't lie. That's bad. That's illegal, even. Don't do that. You know what else is illegal? How fucking cute this cat is. Oh my god. Hello. I was doing emails this morning before stream, and he jumped up on the back of the chair. Here, wait. What if you face the camera? Chungy. Ooh. Illegal baby. Illegally dumb and fat. Ba 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 ba. Yeah. Licky lick. Ba 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 ba. I love him so much. He just ate chicken? Yeah, that's why he's licking his nose. True like it. Does he smell like chicken? I think all cats have chicken breath when they open their mouth, right? Like, little stinky, Not like repulsive, but like, you know, they don't brush their teeth twice a day. No, you don't. Yeah, you want to eat me? You think I'd taste like chicken? Ooh. Oh, he wants to bite. Yeah? Yeah, you think you'll get me? Ah, nice try. Ooh. Oh my god, look at how violent he is. All right. Be free, little boy. Big fat boy. Ooh. Ah. Of course, Maya, the peregrine. When are you going to paint those minis behind you? Whenever my, you know, whims accord. The IRS knows how much one makes, asks us to guess what it is, and is like, psych, you guessed wrong, you're going to get punished now. Right, well, when it comes to your income, you can't really lie to the IRS, you know. The vast majority of the money that I make, it goes through Streamlabs, PayPal, YouTube, Google AdSense, Patreon, and those all file returns to the IRS, so I can't lie about any of that. You can lie about money that you've gotten under the table. That's one of the reasons people pay other people under the table. It's because cash transfers, unless they go through a register or some other kind of way of tracking the you know, the allotted income, it's the IRS can't really track those. In fact, the IRS will almost never follow up on improprieties along those lines unless you give them some kind of signal that you're money laundering or not paying your taxes properly. And that only happens in rare cases, honestly, like instances of people living way outside of their means. That's not something that's really going to affect regular people. More of a, you know, if you're a criminal and you're supposed to have a $20,000 a year job, but you're like in a Bugatti, you're, you know, mansion and something. But that's quite rare. You know, the IRS is underfunded. They can't follow up on many suspected cases of tax fraud. So that's something to keep in mind. Additionally, deductions are something that the IRS cannot track properly. If you say, yeah, this purchase was for work, wink, you know, the IRS will almost never call you on your bullshit because they just don't really have the money to. They can't really follow through on it. It's also really difficult for them to prove. How do they prove that exactly? You know, how much of your square footage is dedicated towards your workstation? Is this for a job? Is that for a job? You know, is this stuff like that? Now, of course, I'm not suggesting that you should be duplicitous when filing any of your tax returns or when listing deductions. I'm only saying that these are things the IRS cannot reasonably follow up on. They really just they just can't. No, of course not. Would the IRS be a thing under a free market socialist co-op system? Yeah, as long as there's a state, you need taxes. And even in a stateless society, there would still be ways of allocating the fruits of labor towards the common good. Yeah, but no. The IRS is the only state agency that I want tripled in funding. Really. What's the funding for the IRS? It's like nothing. Hold on. IRS yearly budget. It's like nothing. 12 billion? 12 billion. $12 billion towards the collection of all the tax revenue for the entirety of the United States. 12 billion. It's like nothing. That's nothing. That's like a fifth of what Elon Musk made in 1 year in 2020. You know, not the EPA. Well, we can get the EPA as well. Yeah, but no, the IRS should be funded quite a bit more, I think. Yeah, they could make that back easily just by, like, you know, finding instances of tax fraud. They could make a doubled, you know, budget back very, very quickly, I think. They should make filing taxes a lot easier. You know, in other countries, the government just sends you a bill. Did you know that? Here in the United States, like the other chatter said, you have to do the math and write out this, that, and the other, fill it out, send it, and they'll tell you if you're wrong. You'll find out when the debt collectors come. But in other countries, the government just sends you a bill. The reason in the US it's not like that is because companies that stood to make a profit from having people come to them for tax filing, legislated and lobbied to keep the IRS from doing your taxes for you. How wild is that? This is an instance of a corporation making life objectively worse and harder and less effective and efficient for everyone, just so a few companies can make more money. All the people responsible for that decision, all the people who participated in that, we really can't get this added fast enough, I think. It's very important, I think, to the, you know, the health of the stream, if that be added. Please let chat know that TurboTax and H&R are unbased and that Free Tax USA will let you do everything without paying for it. I can't verify that information, but I suppose I'll believe you. I just have an accountant. I mean, past a certain amount of money, you should always just have an accountant, you know. You shouldn't just go to a regular old tax filing service. I had the best accountant for a year, and now I can't see, you know, her anymore. Just COVID and, you know, stuff changed. The first accountant that I had after making a proper amount of money was, you know, like I'd meet her properly, you know, and she was a fucking libertarian. I talk with her about my job while meeting with her in person because, you know, I have to explain where my money comes. You know, like, why not? I'm talking with her about my finances. Proper libertarian, you know. You know, we were talking. I was like, oh yeah, I'm a socialist. She's like, really? You know, we were arguing over that, and she did a great job, by the way. Incredibly, you know, well priced for the work. Did a great job filing everything. $250 for the whole tax business, plus some, you know, accounting advice. What kind of libertarian? Right libertarian, you know, and I had to wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yearly? No, it was just for the one thing. Since then, I've done work with a firm, because she's just availability and scheduling and stuff. Yeah, I'm just talking, Jesus. But yeah, it's good. Shit, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I had to wink, wink, nudge, nudge her a little bit. You know, she's like, you know, as long as in your socialist utopia, people are still allowed to compete in the free market. And I was like, yeah, don't worry. It'll be okay. Sure, yeah. She was really nice. I really, really liked her, you know. You know, I think most right libertarians just basically want, like, neo-Confederacy, where they can set up their own company towns and, like, you know, enslave black people or whatever. I don't think that of her at all. I just think she's an honest-to-God, like, you know, priestess of the free market. Who I have a lot more respect for, by the way, you know. People who legitimately think that free market forces are, like, corrective and will fix the world or whatever. I'd like those people a lot more than, like, the neo-Confederate selective libertarians who pretend to be anti-government until the government cracks down on people they don't like, you know. She seemed principled, though. So, more respect for that. Somebody already made it a GIF. Ooh! Oh, wait, hold on. Wait! Hold on. Meme Smiths. This is literally what we're looking for. If we could get, like, a transparency... Do we even need a transparency? Maybe, like, a fading transparency? And it's just, like, cutting out the face here, you know? And, like, fading transparency at the edges? Ooh, okay, hold on. Look. Just remember that even if a bunch of people submit options, none of you are getting paid, and... if you're getting paid, and I you know, select whichever one I like the most, okay? That's true, Dre. Well, high progressive, you get paid, but for other reasons. Opinion on the Jussie Smollett shit. God, that shit is nuts. Finally, something worth talking about. Apart from all the fun we're having. Aren't we having fun? Don't we have a good time? All right, guys. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I genuinely do not know how anyone ever could have believed the whole Jussie Smollett stuff when his name literally rhymes with sussy. Does anyone else? Do any of you guys even understand that? Like, like God was giving us the info right there. Anyway, found guilty of falsely reporting a hate crime. Oh, do we want the video version? Well, we might if it would actually play. Do we believe in noise? Oh, muted the site. Good call, me.
Been reached. It has now been announced. We got breaking news in the Jussie Smollett trial. A verdict has not only been reached, it has now been announced. Sarah Seidner, you have the details.
That's right. Jussie Smollett, a jury has found that he is guilty of 5 of 6 counts of disorderly conduct. Now, of those 5 counts, I'm just going to sort of give you a little bit of what the law is there and what he was charged with and what he is now convicted of. On count 1, it was making a false police report that he was a victim of a hate crime to Officer Babe, one of the officers that took that report. The second count, they found him guilty of making a false police report that he was a victim of a battery to that same officer. The third count, the jury found that he was guilty of making a false police report as the victim of a hate crime to another detective. And then on count 4, guilty of making a false police report that he was a victim of a battery to that.
Okay, you get the gist. Yeah, okay, he faked a hate crime. Mega cringe. And now he's in trouble. Here's the full timeline, by the way. You know, I think when this actually happened like right when I started my channel. I don't know if I covered it at the time. Why are we talking about this, Vosh? Because conservatives are going to use it as a distraction for future actual hate crimes? Yes. Also, I think it's important that everyone, conservative and lefty, understand that, you know, there's universal condemnation of Smollett here, okay? This goes beyond, like, cynical accusations of race baiting. This stuff is legitimately dangerous. Faking claims like this is, not only does it cheapen discourse in all directions, oh, we'll get to the BLM article, Grimopy. Don't you worry. We will. Anyway, here's the timeline, for those of you who don't know. Smollett reports to police receiving a threatening letter sent to the Fox studio where Empire is filmed, containing threatening language and laced with a powdery substance investigators believe was likely crushed up Tylenol. Brilliant stuff. Smollett is allegedly attacked at 2 a.m., just a week later. Near his apartment in Chicago, 2 masked assailants poured, quote, an unknown chemical substance on him, end quote, possibly bleach, and wrapped a rope around his neck, he told police. My God. In a I feel like I was channeling internet historian there. I binged all of his videos a week ago, and I feel like I just, all right. Yeah, it's him. In a follow-up interview with police, Smollett alleges that the attackers yelled MAGA country, a reference to President Donald Trump's Make America Great Again slogan. Really? Is that a reference or just, you know, like, would you say like them wearing red MAGA hats is a reference to Trump, you know, as internet historians are fascist, unfortunately? I don't think, okay, a bit aside, I don't know if he is or not. I know that some of his videos in 2016 seemed kind of far right. In all the videos he's put out recently, he's just come off as kind of an edgy person. Look at his Twitter likes them out. Oh dear. All right. Well, look, regardless of whatever else, you know, I love his videos. I think he's quite responsible too with the production of his actual videos. Let's see. We've got likes on Elon Musk. A bunch of people I don't know or care about. Some stuff memeing about Rittenhouse in a politically undifferentiated way. Libs of TikTok, that's kind of conservative. Edgy stuff. Elon Musk again. Jeez, that's Zuby. It seems like conservative stuff. Look, I don't care. I like the videos. Can we not ruin everything for me? Listen, shh. He liked the JonTron tweets reporting to you? Really? Did he? Oof. You mean the vaccine ones? The ones that he ended up, like, deleting? Or did you just didn't follow through on it? Whew. That's, Yep. Ooh, well. Oh, dear. Anyway. Look, I like the videos, okay? Costa Concordia. 10 out of 10. That and the Q&A after. Wait, John Tron deleted those? Oh, I don't remember. He dropped off of it. Anyway, January 30th, the next day, Chicago police announced in a tweet that they are seeking 2 persons of interest captured on surveillance video near the scene and around the time of the alleged attack. The next day, Smollett's family releases an emotional statement describing the alleged attack as a hate crime. Oof. Jussie is a warrior whose light cannot be dimmed. That's some, pretty serious stuff right there. In the early hours of Tuesday morning, our beloved son and brother Jussie, again, rhymes with Sussy, was the victim of a violent and unprovoked attack. Jussie has told everything to the police, blah, blah. Smollett releases a new statement thanking his fans on the next day. Maintains his account in the alleged attack has been consistent. Says he believes justice will be served. Makes his appearance on stage. Chicago police released the initial incident report about the alleged attack. The report reveals that Smollett was apparently reluctant to report the attack, and that when the police arrived at his home to interview him, he was still wearing the rope around his neck. Interesting. The report states that a 60-year-old friend of Smollett called the police on his behalf and said the actor, quote, did not want to report offense, however, he believed it to be in the best interest to, end quote. Smollett said the attack happened at around 2 a.m. as he was leaving a Subway restaurant. The Subway stay open that late? He told police the 2 attackers gained his attention by yelling racial and homophobic slurs and began to beat him, quote, about the face with their hands, end quote, the report said. The primary aggressor was wearing a black mask concealing any facial features, and both offenders were dressed in black. He didn't remember any other distinguishing features from the offenders or in which direction they fled. 10 days with no developments passed, prompting skepticism about Smollett's account. Unbeknownst to the public, are we enjoying this dramatic reading, by the way? I am. I'm enjoying it very much. Unbeknownst to the public, Chicago police investigators have been tracking the 2, quote, persons of interest, end quote, and were aware of who they were for a while. A law enforcement source subsequently told ABC News. Investigators learned that these 2 men were returning to Chicago on February 13th from Nigeria and moved in. The pair were detained at the airport, placed under arrest, and taken in for questioning. The next day, February 14th, my birthday, by the way, Valentine's Day, in an exclusive interview with Good Morning America anchor Robin Roberts, Smollett said he was heartbroken when he found out people questioned the details of his story. He defended himself against skeptics who pointed out it wasn't until a follow-up interview with the police he mentioned the assailants yelled MAGA country at him. He also complained about erroneous reports that he had told police the attackers were actually wearing red MAGA hats. For me, the main thing was the idea that I somehow switched up my story, and that somehow maybe I added a little extra trinket, of the MAGA thing, Smollett said. I didn't need to know anything like that, or didn't need to add anything like that. They called me an F slur. They called me an N-word. There's no way you can cut it. I don't need some MAGA hat as the cherry on top of some racist sundae. In the ABC News interview, Smollett also confirmed reports that he was initially reluctant to contact the police or hand over his cell phone to help with the investigation. They wanted to give me my phone to detect for 3 or 4 hours. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to do that, the singer said, because I have private pictures and videos and numbers, my partner's number, my family's number, my castmate's number, my friends' numbers, my private emails, my private songs, my private voice memos. Private songs. This one I'm curious about. I have no idea what that would be referring to. Them. The same day the interview aired, Smollett is re-interviewed by Chicago police investigators. By evening, police sources confirmed that they obtained search warrants and raided the homes of the 2 individuals, recovering bleach, shoes, electronics, and other items. It was his mixtape, was it ready? The idea of keeping that on your phone seems odd to me, but I guess that's possible. The Chicago police announced they've identified and are questioning the 2 persons of interest captured on a surveillance video. By midday, a CPD spokesman tells ABC News that the 2, quote, persons of interest, end quote, are in fact under arrest and acknowledged the pair has a relationship with Smollett. Ooh. In an unusual move for an ongoing investigation, police officials who had originally described the two as persons of interest began describing them as potential suspects. But by late that evening, investigators changed course and announced that the two men have been released without charges. Oh no. Chicago police identified the two men they arrested and later released as brothers, Olabino and Abimbola Usendero. That's just a guess on my part. You can stay mad about it. Both U.S. citizens of Nigerian descent. Later in the day, police said they were, quote, eager to speak to Jussie Smollett, end quote, based on new information they obtained after the interrogations. Can you imagine Smollett seeing the TV, seeing this being said, you know? Eager to speak to Jussie Smollett. If I was, lying about a crime, the last thing that I would want to hear after hearing that the two people I'd penned were released without charges was that the police are eager to speak to me. That's, whew. Police contacted the actor's attorneys and said their intentions are clear. Yet in a late-night statement from his attorneys on Saturday, Smollett hit back at the suggestion that the incident was a hoax and expressed disbelief the brothers could have been involved. Two people. As a victim of a hate crime who has cooperated with the police investigation, Jussie Smollett is angered and devastated by recent reports that the perpetrators are individuals he's familiar with. Began a statement from Smollett's attorneys, Todd Poe and Victor Henderson. He has now been further victimized by claims attributed to these alleged perpetrators that Jussie played a role in his own attack. Nothing is further from the truth, and anyone claiming otherwise is lying. One of these purported suspects was Jussie's personal trainer, who he hired to ready him physically for a music video. The songs that's coming around. The statement continued, it is impossible to believe that this person would have played a role in the crime against Jussie, or would falsely claim Jussie's complicity. Is it? I guess we'll only find out by continuing to read in this exaggerated narrator's voice. February 17th. The Usendero brothers, who were interrogated by police investigating the alleged attack on Smollett in Chicago, told authorities that the Empire actor, that show any good, by the way, I've never seen it, allegedly paid them to help him orchestrate and stage the crime. Sources told ABC News. Snitches! They ratted on him. The Usendero brothers agreed to cooperate with authorities after detectives confronted them with evidence that they bought the rope allegedly used in an attack that Smollett described to police as laced with racial and homophobic slurs at a Chicago hardware store, sources said. The two brothers, who were interrogated by police investigating the alleged Chicago street attack on Smollett, unnecessary info considering the fact that we're already midway through the article, claim they helped him concoct the assault after he became upset that a letter threatening him sent to the Empire Show studio did not get enough attention, sources told ABC News. A spokesperson for Smollett said the actor's attorneys are keeping an active dialogue going with Chicago police on behalf of the actor. We are not racist, Usendero brothers said in a statement. We are not homophobic, and we are not anti-Trump. We were born and raised in Chicago and are American citizens. First of all, man, which one of these is the physical trainer? My God. Second of all, you know what this statement says to me? It says, leave us the fuck out of it, okay? We're not racist. We're not anti-racist. We don't believe anything. Please leave me alone. We were paid money to do a job. Do not talk about me. Don't talk to me. I don't want to see my name in the news. Yeah. And I guess it worked because I don't think there was a bunch of, kerfuffle over them afterwards. Anyway, brilliant bodies. No getting around that. Jesus. No. Anyway. Chicago police say they're following up on a tip that on the night Smollett reported being attacked, he was in an elevator of his apartment building with the two Nigerian brothers. Police later dismissed the tips as not credible based on video evidence. Yeah, that'd be a bit of a, audacious false report if you're in an elevator in a building where there are probably security cameras at the time that you're saying that you were attacked somewhere else. Two federal officials tell ABC News that the FBI and U.S. Postal Service are investigating whether Smollett played a role in sending a threatening letter before the alleged attack. Ooh! They're even coming after him for the letter. Chicago's top prosecutor, Cook County's state attorney, Kim Fox. What a movie name, my God. Kim Fox recuses herself from the investigation, quote, out of an abundance of caution to address potential questions of impartiality based upon familiarity with potential witnesses in this case, end quote. According to the Associated Press, Fox's first assistant, Joe Magates, will oversee the case. I wonder, with whom are they familiar? One of the witnesses? Who? Cook County's quite big, you know? I mean, what are the odds? Yeah, these names. Fox had acted as an early intermediary between Smollett's family and the Chicago Police Department. Ah! Question asked, question answered, according to a statement released by her office. Quote, shortly after the incident occurred in late January, State's Attorney Fox had conversations with a family member of Jussie Smollett about the incident and their concerns and facilitated a connection to the Chicago Police Department who were investigating the incident, end quote. Robert Foley, a senior advisor to Fox, according to WLS. Vosh, you're too happy today? What's happening? I'm in a great mood. First of all, this is quite funny. And second of all, I didn't get to stream for 2 days. And now I'm getting to narrate a very funny sequence of events. And I do love narrating, by the way, you know. Not quite as immediately gripping as analysis, but just choosing the intonations is still quite fun. Smollett had been charged with felony disorderly conduct for filing a false report after allegedly staging the attack against himself in Chicago. Police and the state attorney's office confirmed to ABC News. The charge of felony disorderly conduct carries a penalty of 1 to 3 years in jail, according to the criminal statute. Detectives will make contact with his legal team to negotiate a reasonable surrender for his arrest. A scary statement, if there ever is one. Chicago police spokesman Anthony Guglielmi Christ said on Twitter. What is that, Italian? What? Something. I assume it's Italian. People are Italian-handsing in chat. Mamma mia, they say. By Wednesday evening, the Chicago Police Department had officially classified Smollett as a suspect in an ongoing criminal investigation for filing a false report. The announcement in a tweet from the Chicago Police Department's verified account represents another stunning twist in an investigation that has seen more than its share of such developments. The tweet also announced that detectives are presenting evidence to a grand jury. It's pronounced Guglielmi. Huh. Guglielmi. Well. Case update. Jussie Smollett is now officially classified as a suspect in the criminal investigation by #Chicago Police for filing a false police report, Class 4 felony. Detectives are currently presenting evidence. Oh, wait, he's Italian, isn't he? A case update. Jussie Smollett. No, wait, that's Borat. My wife. Moving on. Meanwhile, 20th Century Fox Television and Fox Entertainment continue to stand by the embattled Empire actor and continue to deny reports that he was or is being written off the hit show. Jussie Smollett continues to a consummate professional on set, and we have previously stated he is not being written out of the show. Smollett turned himself in to Chicago police to face a felony charge of filing a false report, a crime that, if convicted, could put him into jail for 1 to 3 years. In an emotional press conference, Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie T. Johnson, these movie names, blasted Smollett on Thursday, in which he said that Smollett's alleged staging of a hoax attack was a, quote, publicity stunt to promote his career. Jussie Smollett took advantage of the pain and anger of racism to promote his career, Johnson said. True. I'm left hanging my head asking, why? Why would anyone, especially an African-American man, use the symbolism of a noose to make false accusations? And side note, by the way, laying it on a bit thick, aren't we? Homophobic and racial slurs, MAGA country, a noose. I mean, really. just right outside a Subway. Oh yeah, it's just going around with my hangman's noose, looking for a black man. Jeez. Stupid. How can an individual who's been embraced by the city of Chicago turn around and slap everyone in the city in the face with these false claims? True, Berman. Johnson charged that Smollett, the actor on the hit show Empire, who has consistently denied any role in staging the alleged attack, orchestrated it because he was dissatisfied with his salary. Really, I don't see a relationship between those things. In a new statement on Thursday, 20th Century Fox Television and Fox Entertainment officials said that, quote, "We understand the seriousness of this matter and respect the legal process. We are evaluating the situation and we are considering our options." The Cook County State Attorney's Office announced that the previous day, a grand jury indicted Empire actor Jussie Smollett on 16 felony counts of disorderly conduct for filing a false police report, according to the Cook County State Attorney's Office. And by the way, well deserved in my personal opinion. Filing false police reports is a serious crime and should be treated as such. To do so with such gravitas and in such a politically charged way, I think is doubly heinous, in my opinion. The narrative is that he faked a hate crime to show the role he was playing was endangering him and so needed higher pay. If his motivations were truly that shallow, I think he should have gotten 17 felony counts. The grand jury returned the two separate sets of charges. Robert Foley, a senior advisor in the state attorney's office, told ABC News. The first set is related to what Smollett told officers about the alleged attack, including that the attackers called him racial and homophobic slurs. Is he gay, by the way, or is just homophobics thrown in there? Struck him with their hands, put a noose around his neck, and poured some sort of chemical substance on it. He is gay? Okay, gotcha. The second set of charges are related to the second interview Smollett had with police about the alleged attack later that day. At an emergency hearing in a Cook County courtroom in Illinois, all criminal charges against Smollett were dropped. Ooh. Jussie was attacked by two people he was unable to identify on January 29th. His attorneys, Tina Glandian and Patricia Brown Holmes, said in a statement, he was a victim who was vilified and made to appear as a perpetrator as a result of fake and inappropriate remarks made to the public, causing an inappropriate rush to judgment. Jussie and many others were hurt by these unfair and unwarranted actions. This entire situation is a reminder that there should never be an attempt to prove a case in the court of public opinion. That is wrong. It is a reminder that the victim, in this case, Sussy Jussie, deserves dignity and respect. Jussie is relieved to have the situation behind him and is very much looking forward to getting back to focusing on his family, friends, and career. The unanticipated development shocked Chicago and prompted angry reactions from Mayor Rahm Emanuel and Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson, who each reiterated their belief that the incident was a hoax, with Emanuel wondering aloud, is there no decency in this man? For a mayor to say that about a case? Whew. The duo went on to accuse Empire actor of receiving preferential treatment by the Illinois State Attorney's Office. This is without a doubt a whitewash of justice. Very funny choice of words, considering the circumstances. Emanuel said at a news conference Tuesday afternoon, there is no accountability. It is wrong. Full stop. Johnson said he was surprised to learn of the decision to drop charges against Smollett while attending a police academy graduation with Mayor Emanuel. A furious Johnson said prosecutors brokered a deal with Smollett in secrecy. I'm sure we all know what happened this morning, Johnson said at his press conference. Do I think justice was served? No. What do I think justice is? I think the city is owed an apology. At the end of the day, it's Mr. Smollett who committed this hoax. Period, Johnson said. I heard that they wanted their day in court so America could know the truth, and they chose to hide behind a veil of secrecy, a brokered deal to circumvent the judicial system. Johnson said he and Emanuel only learned about the charges being dropped when it was announced publicly. And this little bit goes on for some time. The outrage. We found out about it when you all did, Johnson said, of the lack of notice from the state's attorney's office regarding the dropped charges. I'm sure we'll have some conversation after this, but at the end of the day, Mr. Smollett committed this hoax. Very confident. Emanuel noted that a sliver of the evidence was presented to a grand jury, which indicted Smollett. He said Smollett used race and privilege to get off scot-free and that the actor had shown no remorse or accountability for his actions. A person using hate crime laws that are on the books to protect people who are minorities, and you use them to advance your career, is there no decency in this man? Well, we already got that quote. how long are we going to hear about the outrage? We need the critical conclusion to this, don't we? Well, we're nearing done. In a subsequent interview with ABC News Chicago station, WLS, the prosecutor who dropped the charges against Smollett told ABC News station WLS, yeah, we know, that he believes Smollett made a false report about being attacked, but decided to drop the charges anyway. We stand behind the investigation and the facts revealed. I hate grand juries, said Joe Maggots, the first assistant state attorney who took over the case when his boss, Kim Foxx, recused herself. In fact, according to text messages obtained by the Chicago Tribune, Fox reached out to Johnson and asked him to turn the probe over to the FBI, though the police department ultimately completed the investigation independently. We believe he did what he was charged with, what he was doing. Thank you. Asked again whether he believes Smollett fabricated the incident, he replied, yes. This was not an exoneration. To say he was exonerated by us or anyone is not true. In answer to questions about dropping the charges, Maggots initially suggested it was a question of resources and that he decided to drop the charges after determining. Our goal and our number one priority is combating violent crime and the drivers of violence, and we look to our resources to do that. And I don't think Mr. Smollett is a driver of violence or a violent individual. Now this, to me, is hardcore police bias. You don't get to just let criminals go because they're not violent criminals. Do you think this would have been done for an actor, for a person who wasn't like a wealthy actor, you know? Like some random black guy shoplifted and they're like, oh, well, we decided to drop the charges because, like there's violent crimes out there. If they had, applied this attitude consistently, it might be socially beneficial, but I don't think it is here. Maggots said he was satisfied with Smollett forfeiting the 10% of the $100K bond he put up and completing community service prior to getting the charges dropped. In return for forfeiting his bond to the city of Chicago and doing his community service, we agreed to dismiss the charges against him. He did community service for Operation Push. Then, finally, the timeline advances. An Illinois judge rules that records sealed in the hoax attack criminal case of Empire cast member Jussie Smollett be made public, ruling that the actor had not displayed the, quote, actions of a person seeking to maintain his privacy. Cook County Circuit Court Judge Stephen G. Watkins, again with the movie names, ordered that investigative files in the high-profile case be unsealed after ABC News and other media organizations argued that keeping them from public view was a violation of the First Amendment and the public's right to access to court records. Cook County Judge Michael Tooman, that's not a movie name, appoints a special prosecutor to investigate the decision to dismiss all charges against Smollett, opening up the possibility the actor could be charged again, the Associated Press reports. Tooman also suggested that Fox may have mishandled the case by appointing a top aide to oversee it after she recused herself. Oh, no. June 24th, 2019. Police released nearly 70 hours of video in connection to the Smollett investigation, including body camera footage of the actor with the noose around his neck. The video footage also includes Smollett asking the officers to turn off their recording devices, while another group of clips shows the moment when the police apprehend the two brothers who allege they helped Smollett stage the attack. Smollett, 37, is indicted on 6 counts of disorderly conduct. Remember, that's the number that he was convicted on at the beginning of this little story, related to making 4 separate false reports to Chicago Police Department officers, claiming he was the victim of a hate crime while, quote, knowing he was not the victim of a crime, end quote. Convicted on 5, charged with 6. This is the number he was charged with. Special Prosecutor Dan Webb said in a statement on Tuesday. Despite substantial abuses of discretion and operational failures, the dismissal of charges against Jussie Smollett, Cook County State's Attorney Kimberly Fox and her staff did not rise to the level of criminal wrongdoing, according to Special Prosecutor Dan K. Webb. The 29th of November. Ooh, we're getting quite close to the modern day. Jury selection for Smollett's trial begins Monday. December 7th, 3 days ago. The defense of Smollett rests its case after 2 days of emotional testimony by the actor. He alleged on the stand that the Osundario brothers, who had testified the previous week, were lying about their claims that Smollett orchestrated the attack and paid them $3,500 to do so. If you want people to be complicit in a crime, you need to pay them quite a bit more than $3,500 to keep their mouths shut when the police come for them. Okay. You want to see the police confronting him wearing the noose? Why not? Let's see how ridiculous that looked to the police officers themselves.
The guy upstairs really doesn't work. Basically being sensitive, like if anything like this happened to me, I would work.
Rich people houses.
He's going out to go to show him. See what I'm saying? Okay. And the thing is, they put a makeshift roof. If that makes any.
Making our way up. Audio redacted by police. This is where they were talking about Epstein's Island.
Come on in, sir.
Any weapons or anything inside the apartment?
Yeah, yep.
So
Wait, is that?
explained to them how you were going to get
It
some.
looks like it.
And the reason I'm calling because
Yeah, say that looks like it.
Do you want to take it off or anything?
yeah, I do. I just want you to see. There's bleach on me. They put bleach on me.
Yeah.
You're filming us, right?
Yeah, this is all day. If you want,
The cops are like, you're filming this, right? Like you're seeing this, right? Yeah, I just wanted you to see it.
it's in his house.
They're filming you.
You're being audio and
Like audio. I guess when I mean, they didn't know when they were walking into the door. Okay, so can we turn it off?
Yeah, you're giving us permission to shut it off.
And they ask him to turn the body camera footage. Why'd they blur his face? Probably just operational procedure. I mean, we all know that's sussy Jussie. Anyway, we arrive now at the thrilling end to this tale. After 10 hours of deliberations, the jury finds Smollett guilty of 5 of 6 counts for filing a false police report related to the attack. And look at that. We finally made our way to the end. How crazy was that, huh? Twists and turns abound. I don't like Sussy Jussie very much. I think that's quite bad, actually. Now, you pointed this out at the beginning. This isn't the end of this particular tale. See, the Black Lives Matter org released a statement. And, yeah, it's a little sussy-wussy. The below is a statement from Dr. Melina Abdullah, director of BLM Grassroots and co-founder of BLM Los Angeles, regarding the ongoing trial of Jussie Smollett. So this was from the 7th of December, before the convictions. As abolitionists, we approach situations of injustice with love and align ourselves with our community. Because we got us. So let's be clear. We love everyone in our community. It's not about a trial or a verdict decided in a white supremacist charade. It's about how we treat our community when corrupt systems are working to devalue our lives. In an abolitionist society, this trial would not be taking place, and our communities would not have to fight and suffer to prove our worth. Instead, we find ourselves once again being forced to put our lives and our value in the hands of judges and juries operating in a system that is designed to oppress us, while continuing to face a corrupt and violent police department which has proven time and time again to have no respect for our lives. They got that on the last point. That's true, but relevance? In our commitment to abolition, we can never believe police, especially the Chicago Police Department, over Jussie Smollett, a black man who has been courageously present, visible, and vocal in the struggle for black freedom. While policing at large is an irredeemable institution, CPD is notorious for its long and deep history of corruption, racism, and brutality. From the murders of Fred Hampton, R.I.P., and Mark Clark, to the Borge tortures, Borga? I don't know. To the murder of Laquan McDonald and subsequent cover-up, to hundreds of others killed by Chicago police over the years and thousands who have survived abuse, Chicago police consistently demonstrate they are among the worst of the worst. Police lie and Chicago police lie especially. Black Lives Matter will continue to work toward the abolition of police and every unjust system. We will continue to love and protect one another and wrap our arms around those who do the work to usher in black freedom and, by extension, freedom for everyone else. I've got some choice words, you know. I've got a few choice words, actually. So we'll just sort of, in no particular order. I don't typically talk about the BLM organization because I'm more concerned with Black Lives Matter, the mass movement that hundreds of millions of people participated in, you know? I do think that it was quite irresponsible of the organization to name themselves the same thing as the public movement, to selfishly and out of entitlement name themselves, share the name of the public cause, you know? I think that's a remarkably there are a lot of really negative words. It's a remarkably stupid thing to do, especially when you're going to pull shit like this. So to compare Jussie Smollett to Fred fucking Hampton, I mean, to talk about him like he's just another black man being lynched by the Chicago Police Department is such an exceptional smack in the face to Fred Hampton and everybody else named here. It is unimaginable. Jussie Smollett is, by all apparent accounts, a grifter and a race baiter whose interest in racial justice begins and ends with his self-aggrandizing, his betterment, the attention he can draw to himself. To compare him to real civil rights activists is abhorrent. Additionally, the evidence raised against him was not just the testimony of Chicago police officers. His noose that they walked in on him wearing, that's just, they caught it on camera. That's not their testimony. He did it. It's not even being contested. It was the testimony of the other two black men in the trial, the Nigerian brothers who alleged that they were paid $3,500 each to commit the fake crime. This is not a matter of police testimony or brutality. In fact, it was the grand jury's privileged treatment of Jussie Smollett to begin with that led to the first set of charges, the 16 being dropped. The police were favorable to Jussie Smollett because capital is, at the end of the day, the greatest privilege we have. More so than race. You can call me a class reductionist if you want, but, you know, I would much rather be a billionaire black man in America than a desperately poor white man. Capital is the overriding privilege in capitalist societies. Doesn't erase everything, but god damn if it doesn't make things a hell of a lot easier. It's just so disgusting. And when I read stuff like this, it makes me think, the people who wrote this, the people who signed off on this, do they give a fuck about racism, or do they just care about their race, you know? Because this to me reads like the sort of thing that a person who is pro-black might write, not anti-racism, not anti-white supremacy, you know? The writer is a supporter of Farrakhan. Well, that about does it, doesn't it? Is that true? Dr. Melissa Abdullah. That would do it, wouldn't it? Oh. Nice. All right. So, new tactic. I think this woman should be in jail. I think she should spend her entire life in jail for thought crimes. Luis Farrakhan is a Nazi. The Nation of Islam killed Malcolm X and is destructive towards the interests of black people. And this person should be removed from their job. What is their job? Tenured professor, Department of Pan-African Studies. These people should be removed from their jobs. They're explicitly anti black. They are in favor of segregationism. They are supporters of hate movements. I am so fucking tired of white liberals, and that's who's responsible at the end of the day for this, okay? She was not appointed to chair of the Department of Pan-African Studies by wooing black people. It's self-hating, guilty-feeling, liberal whites who are constitutionally incapable of differentiating between positive racial justice and black people who just don't like white people very much. They cannot differentiate between the two. And because they're so guilty and self-hating, they will just they will just sign off on anything and everything. And I know that because I went to college, and so did a lot of you, didn't you? Yes, you did. And you know who I'm talking about. Guilty, self-hating white liberals, not leftists, liberals, time and time again. People who do not understand racial justice. They don't understand it. They know MLK was good. They get some of the basics, you know. Some of them even think that Malcolm X is pretty cool. But at the end of the day, because as liberals, they are constitutionally incapable of meaningful systemic analysis, they cannot differentiate between a person being pro-black and anti-white, a person being anti-racism or in favor of switching who's on top of an existing racist hierarchy, a person who critiques white supremacy and a person who critiques white people. They can't see the difference because a lack of systemic analysis will preclude people towards essentialization. And that is precisely, liberals like Professor Flowers, that is precisely what leads them to blindness on these issues. And I'm okay with saying this. You know why? Because black people in America don't like Luis Farrakhan. I know that because I'm not a fucking idiot. Because I'm not a stupid fucking LARPy ideologue who thinks that every black person is willing to go, you know, pack everything in a bindle and run off to Africa to form an ethno-state. Because I'm not a lunatic who pretends to represent their interests while secretly, personally just using all political advocacy to fuel my self-aggrandizing hatred of ethnic groups that I dislike. Because I understand, as Fred Hampton did, as Malcolm X did before he was killed, as Martin Luther King did, that real anti-racism is brotherhood across all lines. And sisterhood, you know, partnerhood. We don't need to make it a gender thing. Anyway. You understand what I'm saying, don't you? I genuinely think it's reprehensible. Anybody who will positively invoke Fred Hampton and supports Luis Farrakhan doesn't understand Fred Hampton and should keep his name out of their dirty fucking mouths. Ideologically opposed. If Luis Farrakhan and Fred Hampton were both alive today, they'd be paying hitmen for each other, you know? They'd be buying off, they'd be running all around the world, you know, hiding out in Mexico, Guatemala, over to, you know, Guam, people taking shots. They would have hated each other. I feel like I'm on a rhetorical roll today. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm doing good. I feel like we're doing okay. Oh, thank you, Vermin. All right. We got to run it through. I've been stun locked too hard. We're going to keep talking. Give me that Tucker Carlson segment. Give me that Tucker Carlson segment. Don't worry, we haven't forgotten about the music video. Not the music video, the music. Artemy! Oh my god, you're so annoying. Wow, that's incredible. Wow. Wow. Reach for the camera. I know you want to. Ooh. Boy.
Boss bad, boss bad, boss bad.
Woo. Love you, Artemy. We got a little funny one for you guys. Watch the Guruka, please. Oh, we will high progressive. Yeah. We're not going to get to everything that was discussed in the stream title, I'm afraid, but we're going to get to some more stuff that wasn't. Artemy, quit sniffing my slippers. They smell like feet, probably. That's kind of the point. Ooh, is he going to plop? He's going to plop? Plop. Artemy, plop. Do it. Plop. 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 Ooh, yes. Oh, you can see his fat butt. Look at him. Good baby. Oh, he's making biscuits over there. All right. Big butt baby. Okay. You know how Biden is the primary architect of the femboy agenda with the 5G rays, like he sets up 5G towers all across the United States, and right, yeah, and eventually, he'll hit the button and it'll, right, yeah, you understand the breast growth, it's a whole thing, right? Well, I think this might actually be a bipartisan issue. Take a look at this clip, okay? This is from Tucker Carlson, or as I call him, Tucky. That's because we're friends, so we have cute nicknames for each other.
Yes. We're going to go and climb that hill. And here's why we want to do it. And we invite you, the public, to come with us on that journey.
They still have that whine. Remember from the Yang interview? There was that high-pitched whine in the background, and I thought it was an issue with the recording, but it's actually just his set has a... That's incredible. This guy's richer than God. Okay.
Amen. That is leadership. And Boris, just with the best will in the world, doesn't have that. And we've seen more U-turns in policy from the Johnson government than I've seen in any government in my lifetime.
Yes.
And
in a very embarrassing way.
Oh, some of it's been shocking.
So somebody who knows him told me, and
does anyone else feel like, and this is kind of ironic given what we're about to listen to, does anyone else feel like Tucker Carlson has a very submissive and breathable voice? Really, like, listen to him talk, it's like venting about your life problems to a gay best friend. Like,
in a very embarrassing way.
And
in a very embarrassing way.
Oh, some of it's been shocking.
So somebody who knows him told me,
know?
and I should be interested in getting your take on this, that getting COVID emasculated him. It changed him. It feminized him. It weakened him as a man. Do you think that's...
Well, I think he was very seriously ill.
Oh, for sure he was.
And I think... one of the things we have learned from COVID is people who are 50, 60, 70, 80 pounds overweight tend to have fared very badly.
Sure.
Now, we don't talk about it
much. But the virus itself...
Pretty sure that's been talked about. Yeah, I mean, any respiratory issue is probably going to be exacerbated by being overweight because it compounds other... Whatever, it's not the point.
This is true, does tend to take away the life force in some people, I notice. I mean, it does feminize people. No one ever says that, but it's true.
Okay, so the reason this is incredibly funny to me is because Tucker Carlson, alongside basically every conservative commentator, they've been advocating for natural immunity. Like, hey, you don't need to get the vaccine. If you've gotten COVID, then you're 60 times as immune. And it's not true, of course. You should get the vaccine and the booster shot and all the others. But doesn't that mean he's kind of advocating for forced feminization? I mean, what he's saying right now is, oh, yeah, it feminizes you. And I've spent over a year, basically, saying that, yeah, just go ahead and get the virus. Don't protect yourself against the virus. Just go ahead and get it. Do you think he's trying to bring people to his level? Do you think he thinks Trump is feminine?
Look, I think the virus did affect him, but I think, let's be honest about it, it's the new wife, isn't it? I mean, it's, Carrie Johnson, or as she's now called, Carrie Antoinette, which the historians like. This is a very powerful, very strong woman.
What wife is this? Do we know? Or do we even keep count?
My wife.
Well, that's not the...
What is feminine energy? That's some Jungian bullshit. I'm sure you can approximate what feminine energy means, more or less. Look, I do think this is tremendously funny because with conservatism, Vosh, there's some truth to this. Well, COVID causes a number of hormonal imbalances. It will affect your testosterone level. There's no denying it. But look, First of all, just the contradiction between, you know, it drains your life force, it makes you feminine, and also get natural immunity is very funny to me. But additionally, I do think it's going to be spectacularly funny seeing how conservatives adopt a kind of weird essentialist, spiritualist mindset. Look, okay, I'll put it this way. What did they do with the AIDS crisis? It was God's punishment to gays, they said, you know, and the Reagan administration didn't mention it for years, and many people died. There was a need on the part of conservatives to make it more than just a disease. It had to be some vicious, you know, meaningful essentialist thing. So what do you think they're going to do with COVID? Like 5 years from now, down the line, you know, how do you think they're going to morally essentialize COVID? Are they going to say, like, you know, COVID mostly hit people in the cities, and that's what city folk get? They'll, like, play to the rural base. But that doesn't really reflect when you take a look at hospitalization numbers per county. So what's the direction? I mean, it drains your life force. Do you think that as COVID continues to circle the globe, I mean, you've got the Omicron variant, eventually people are going to start, like, advertising themselves as having never had COVID on, like, dating apps and stuff, Tinder, you know what I mean? Be like, all my life force is preserved, you know? And they'll be like, you know, it's other people, you know, they gotten sick too, maybe 3 times with increasingly minor variants. But they'll be their sperm will be raw and fertile. Oh, do you think COVID will make people Chinese? Like spiritually, I mean, you know, like people like Tucker Carlson are going to be like, yeah, you know, real Americans like me and, you know, other people who haven't gotten sick, you know, but once you've gotten the China flu, they say, you know, a little bit of China stays in you, something like that. It sounds bad shit, but I mean, we're talking about American conservatives here. I don't understand why we can't speculate. I could make up anything, and honestly, it would be about in line. Don't give them ideas. Oh, hold on. This is so good. Okay, wait. Jazz Dog, is it possible nothing is letting me make it have a transparent background? Do you think we could get a transparent background added to this, or like with a transparent fade effect? Look at that. This is so good. I'm gonna put this emote behind subs only, and you people are going to pay out the nose for it. What is it for? It's not for anything. It doesn't mean anything. No TOS Areno. Alex explode me one as well. Ooh. Okay, wait. This one is this is transparent. The white's not real, or this is transparent. I feel like this is too fast. I kind of like the effect a little bit better on this one. If we can get a transparent background, or at least a transparent fade on the edges, so that the clouds are just sort of like hovering behind rather than, you know. Well, this one can be slowed down. It doesn't have to be this fast. But the transparency is critical. The black will blend in a bit with chat. Not on my screen, it won't. Not on stream. It'll have to, you know. Eyes a little flashy. Luma key too hard. Well, here, let's see.
Leadership quality.
Yes.
There we go. But you can slow it down, of course. I can get it to be transparent, but I gotta manually go through it. Yeah, Jazz Dog, no one's paying you. I do have paid editors, you know. Listen, I think I prefer Jazz Dogs. And I'm going to adhere to that as well, because Jazz Dog's been pumping out some crack memes lately. So it's just going to be a matter of refining that one. Okay, we don't need you know, a bunch of overlapping labor. I don't think. Oh, hello, Artemy. What are you doing? What are you? But everyone, thank you very much to the runner-up. We love you. You're all going to make me feel guilty. Artemy, what are you slinking for? There's nothing there. Look, he's like, look, there's nothing there. I can see. It's ghosts. Can you see ghosts? Ooh.
Boss bad, boss
Ooh. Go. Kill the ghosts. Go. Okay. Right. Rightio. Segment? Well, we kind of interrupted that one, but that's fine. There's only so much I can say there. Anyway, let's bring up that suey fuel. Where is it? There it is. All right. Anybody with a weak gag reflex, heart conditions, pregnant, whatever, just if this gets turned into a segment, you might just want to skip this one. I watched like 8 seconds of this. Do you guys remember the cringe comedian? The cringe comedian, a video got released of that maybe a week ago. Yeah, you guys know. You know if you've been on Twitter, right? If at least if you saw me comment on it. It's the guy. Oh, thank you. It's this guy. I've just... And I don't have to pause this for copyright concerns because this is taken from the Reawaken America political conference or whatever else. Just... Okay. All right.
You know what a cockatoo is? A cockatoo...
Shu, are you here? Shu, this is who you want us to date. I saw your Twitter poll posting complaining. This is who you want us to date, to be friends with, to work for? This man. This is who Shu wants you to date.
And that's what everyone's become. Little cockatoos staring at the screen.
Facts and figures, facts and figures. Dr. Fauci, Dr. Fauci.
Trust the science, trust the science.
This is who Shu wants you to have a committed, loving relationship with in her constant drive. Listen, Shu, you won't live in the pod. I will not fuck the Birdman, okay? I will not fuck the Birdman. I will not do it, okay? I will not fuck the Birdman. I will not say hello to the Birdman. I will not piss on the Birdman if he is on fire. No.
Specialist, numbers going up, numbers going up. 1 mask, 2 masks, vaccinated, double
I'm gonna talk about this for the rest of the stream. I want to say, I actually, yeah, no, I mercifully gave you guys a short clip rather than going and finding the original source, which I could have and have gotten the whole bit. Thank you. First of all, I just want to say I actually find this kind of refreshing in its honesty, you know? Because this is the conservative argument, right? Like, he's trying to frame it as a joke, but, like, mockingly saying, your facts, your facts, data, poo. Like, that is where we are, a little bit, maybe.
Specialist, numbers going up, 1 mask, 2 masks, vaccinated, double
No, like this is it, right? Like it's honesty. It's what is the point of comedy if not to be, you know, honest in the purest form, you know, if not to distill truth down to its fundamental essence. And I feel like this is the conservative argument right there. And I like it and I respect it. Why would you torture us like this? Do you hate us in some way? Well, of course I hate you, but it's not because of that. It's because this guy, oh, here's the same, hold on.
Can you talk to me about comedy and why comedy is, or maybe you don't agree, but why comedy is truly one of the last places where completely free speech is allowed.
The jester.
I love that, by the way. Comedy is one of the last refuges of free speech, you know. Now, normally, if you went in public and you said, Fauci, masks, wah! The government would shoot you on sight. They would deploy snipers. But if you're a comedian, you see, like this is these high level ideas can seek refuge, the mantle of comedy. But you know, this is the comedy of a court jester. Okay, he may be all bells and farts. Okay, but he's trying to deliver poignant truths to His Majesty. Right? All right, wake up, people.
Was the greatest, most important person since the beginning of time, because the
Bells and
jester
braps.
comes, he kind of brings his message, people laugh, and then he leaves. And hopefully some people go, hey, what did that guy just say?
He even does the faces when he's doing the regular talking. I do like to imagine that after he leaves, like after he gets off the stage, he's thinking, I think I really got him with that. I hope some of these people wake up. I hope, you know, like he's like, I feel urge to ableism rising. Well, you know what? This guy is wealthier and more famous than literally any of us, unless there are some spectacularly powerful people in chat. So, you know, maybe class privilege sort of insulates the... Yeah, except for Sake Tanuki, of course, yeah.
Comedy is the only thing that A, that heals, that B, that can also make you think. And
what about doctors? Or like, whatever.
if you shut down that, and it's the last thing with free speech, which is why if you get, it's like any form of art. You can't just say, hey, here's my new thing. It's called a phone. You're going to have a million different reactions. You can't lump it in one sum and go, we don't like the phone.
He just does this normally.
Just offensive. And what is offensive? I even talk about in the new special. What's offensive?
Sorry, I have to play this again. I don't care if I did it last time. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. These guys, what are they? Jaden Crow? I don't know. These people, okay? They're like the archdukes of a college of comedy, a jester's court, okay? That was built high into the mountains. And this guy, he traveled. Oh, that's copyright? Okay, blur the whole thing. It'll probably be better for the sanity of my audience anyway, Tempest. Just blur the whole thing. Just make it disappear. Anyway, this guy, with Jim Brewer, whatever his name is, he traveled the Rocky Mountain Road. I mean, he had like a Sherpa guide him up the Himalayas to make his way to the comedy kings that were the I Baked You a Pie TikTok people. Didn't they do another one? What's Jaden Crows? Was that? Yeah, the mountain of cringe. Where didn't they do like another really popular one that wasn't the I Baked You a Pie one? I baked you a pie. No, stop! Okay. Wasn't there another one? Like another... No, there wasn't? It was just that one? Okay, that's probably for the best. Don't look for it? Okay.
Defining the gender of a potato head toy? Is it going to war? That should never be a war, and people come home with no legs. Is that offensive? Is that on the front line? There's many. You can't define. Is it food that gives you cancer? Are we going to put what exactly is offensive? So comedy heals, and comedy is the most important element of human existence, if you ask me. It is
Does anyone know this guy? Indian Joker. Does anyone know who I'm talking about? Is anyone getting vibes? Yeah, yeah. Those who know, okay?
Thing that can heal you from just the worst tragedy in life, the worst sickness you're dealing through.
That's like a July 2020 meme. Sorry. My apologies for bringing you guys a stale reference. I'm pretty sure the I baked you a pie thing is way older than that, but
if you don't have comedy, you're in serious trouble. You need to be humbled. You need humility in life, and that is one of the essence of life. Faith, comedy, you need all that.
Wow, I'm ableist. Oh my god. I really do you guys know that hold on. I'm communicating with memes today because there are so many. Hold on. You know that meme? The like what do you think about this? And the guy is like panicking and he's thinking of two options and both of them are ableist slur. You know what I mean? Like the girl runs up and she's like, "How do you feel about this?" And the guy's like, and it's like it's just yeah, that's all he. That's the only thing I can think of. It's I feel like my ability to engage in political analysis is being drowned out by an overwhelming desire to just attribute everything wrong with this guy to like his skull shape and just leave it there. Look. All I'll say is this, okay? I do genuinely hate how conceited comedians are sometimes. Dave Chappelle did this shit too, okay? Sometimes you earn it. George Carlin, speaking truth to power. Dave Chappelle kicked ass at this when he was doing his George Floyd bit, the BLM bit, you know. When comedy is being used as a vehicle to deliver criticisms towards institutions or people in power, beautiful stuff. Literally millennia old tradition, should be celebrated, you know, revered. But that doesn't mean comedy is in and of itself always doing that, you know? That it's like the difference between praising, you know, like heroism and like putting on the uniform, you know? Like if a soldier does some crazy like jump on a grenade, like, you know, go and like chase down enemy fire to pick up a wounded dude, whatever, bring him back, I'll call him a hero. Fuck yeah, it's some crazy shit, you know. But like heroism isn't putting on the uniform. I think that's what comedians are, you know. A lot of comedians think when you put on the uniform, that's the heroism. It's fucking not. Okay, it's absolutely not. All right. Putting on the comedian uniform, I guess that would be the jester hat with the bells. Yeah, that's step one. That's the beginning. That's ground floor, okay? You got to go above. This is going below. Dude brought a shovel. Just started digging, okay? George Carlin kept walking up and never stopped, all right? You know, Dave Chappelle's wavered up and down the whole time. I feel like you're overestimating the extent to which Dave Chappelle spoke truth to power. I'm telling you, okay? Funny guy he is. Most of the time, probably not, no. The George Floyd bit, I think he nailed it. Really do think that. Anyone who hasn't seen Dave Chappelle's, the bit where he talked about BLM was 9 minutes, I think, or cut out from a broader thing. You should see that. That's easily 10 out of 10 stuff. Barely even comedy, really. Comedic reading of a political, yeah, broken clock if you want. However you want to go with it, that's the job of a comedian, you know. It is true. Unpleasant truths are best delivered in, you know, in comedic bits, you know. Comedy is, what is it, alabaster? What helps the medicine go down? It is a remarkably powerful social tool. Jon Stewart, you know, Stephen Colbert. And I'm not saying, by the way, that these guys are perfect or top of their game all the time. I'm only saying that comedy lets you go down roads you couldn't otherwise. Not alabaster, sorry, castor oil? No, that makes you throw up. Sorry, whatever. A spoonful of honey, whatever. Honey is like sugar. Yeah, honey's liquid sugar. Not really, but anyway, it's really important. It's important stuff. You know, currently I think the best deliverer of this, currently the person who's most consistent with this like comedian's claim to political advocacy, John Oliver. Yeah, perfect. Now, John Oliver, okay. Now, look, there's always going to be a ratio of like politics to delivery. You know what I mean? George Carlin, heavy on the comedy. The truths were in there. You had to bury him out, you know. Oh, the Inside Guy. I can't believe I forget his name. He's a legend now. The Inside Guy. Come on. Bo Burnham. Thank you. Yeah, Bo Burnham. Perfect example. Comedy, truth, honey in the spoonful makes it go down, you know. But John Oliver, okay? John Oliver is like a big brick of politics that somebody's painted comedy on, okay? If any of you watch John Oliver for the comedic bits, then I have several bridges to sell you and also like a, you know, like a key ring to provide you in exchange for all your worldly possessions, because you will not find anything funnier in your life, okay? Give me everything you've got. Sell your clothes, sell your house. I'll give you a key ring and you are going to be happy forever. It's the comedy bits, they don't sell me on that show. Politics, though, and you know, if it weren't for the comedy, I don't think people would watch it, really. Sometimes all you need is that coat of paint, you know? Sometimes you really just need that coat of paint. That's me. What if John watches this? What an honor, you know? By the way, I don't actually think that the comedy writing in that show is bad. I think it's deliberately cringeworthy because they prefer the aesthetic of earnest, you know, overcompensation to the aesthetic of genuinely trying to deliver like funny subversive jokes that, if they don't land, are more cringeworthy than jokes which are clearly trying to be self-aware in how cringeworthy they are. I think that they're deliberate in how they go about it. And, you know, different people are going to like it in different ways, but also the sort of self-depreciating, cringe on purpose humor is a good contrast to the political messaging. It keeps things from coming off kind of cringy, you know? If all the jokes are like trying to be really cool and suave and well written and like, you know, genuinely subversive, and then you've got all the politics on top of that, and I feel like just sort of laughing at what a goofball he is, I think it helps. I think it works. Bo Burnham, yeah, edgy political text, great shit. Gotta rewatch Inside, really good stuff. Yeah, the self-deprecation, I think, is important. Yeah, it being self-knowingly cringy makes it come off less preachy. His country segments are so good, though. I don't fall for them anymore, you know? Ever since I did my whole geography runabout, I no longer fall for any of those little bits, you know? It's, you know, he tries to get me like, let's talk about Bolivia, except that's not, and I'm like, yeah, I know, that's Chile, and no, that one is, it's not even, that's Central America. That's, you know, it's Guatemala. It's not, yeah. So I you know, I've sure. Hey, I took the whole global geography quiz on stream. You know, I got almost entirely correct. Have you done the test recently though? It's been a bit. Armenia is next to Azerbaijan. Can I play that clip again? I'm sorry, hold on. I love being a large enough figure that if I ever want to find my own tweets, I can just Google it. You know? That's so convenient. Best clip of my stream. Albania is next to Azerbaijan. Retard. No! Albania is next to Azerbaijan. Retard. No! I was drunk out of my mind. I think I was like a bottle and a half of wine down. I mean, that's a lot for me. I'm a lightweight. That was good. Okay, cut the segment. Shh, stop. Did you talk about how Twitter people are saying you're a CIA asset? Okay, we've got time for one more, and then quick dono reads plus the song, okay? Now, we can either do the how I'm a CIA agent bit, or we can, somebody in chat said that there's an Essence of Thought video I should look at. The Essence of Thought thing can wait. That's completely non-temporal. This is relevant. No, that's a dumb question. We're doing the CIA bit. All right, hold on. Let me gather the materials. All right, hold on. There are a couple of tweet threads that I need to dig up here. Need that one. Need this one. Got that. Got that. Got that. Got that. Got the Hunter Avalone tweets. Thank you. Very good. Very good. Getting everything together. Occupied Democrats will have to wait. That's fine. That's not us. All right, folks. It has long been known by fans of the stream that I am an agent of the Central Intelligence Agency. Now, that shouldn't be surprising to any of you. I mean, this has been public information. They pay me well. I continue to slander China, Russia, Bashar al-Assad, who we should otherwise be praising glory to. It's a good gig. But anyway, I was recently found out. You see, yesterday, a clip got leaked on Twitter, and it's grown quite popular, I'm not entirely sure how they got this clip. I kept it between me and a third of a million people subscribed to my channel when I deliberately recorded a segment, had my editors put it together, and then released it. So I don't know how they got a hold of it, but, I don't know if they have like a mole on the inside. Anyway, this tweet is so good, I feel like I should read it like that one guy people pay money to, Neoliberal imperialist Vosh who wants regime change in Syria. You know the guy who I'm talking about? He's the guy with the wide head in the suit, Right? Yeah, Big Tyrone. Yeah. In Syria, Cuba, Venezuela, China, and other official enemies of Pentagon is now calling for CIA coup in Russia in order to install a pro-Western leader. This is American leftist. Doesn't it sound like something he'd say? Anyway, let's get the clip. It's got 145,000 views, making the rounds. That's why I'm trending again, by the way. All right, let's get it. Declaration of war, as many countries have threatened to in the past, following severe sanctions. Oh, I have to do his laugh. There we go. Or you pull the old CIA, real sneaky, real quiet. The other option is a coup. Morally, if it was possible, if I could snap my fingers, would I coup Russia? I mean, would I, let's say the CIA just sneak on in there and replace them with a pro-Western, whatever. I mean, I don't want them to be like... There's another cut right there because immediately after that bit, I laugh and say not pro-Western. Because it was, a bit, but, they've got to cut it together. It's okay. This is 45 seconds long. They came dangerously close to the 2-minute cap for a Twitter video. They had to leave that bit out. Like pro-Western business. Let's just say somebody who's not Putin, somebody who's not desperately trying to claw their way back to Cold War era glory. Yeah, I would. I would do that in a heartbeat. Absolutely. Declaration of war. Nice. Anyway, normally I'd complain about a clip chimp, but I completely agree with everything in there. Look, radlibs are seething. However, I am undeterred. Like a mighty oak, I brave storm, wind, rain, and thunderstrike alike, okay? You can make me trend as many times as you want, but these fuckers have nothing on me. Here's a fact of the matter, okay? It remains a fact throughout all of human history that sometimes justified interventionism is something which can be promoted. I do think America was right to involve themselves in World War II. I think we should have done it much earlier. I think it's okay to defend allies that are being attacked by other countries. I believe that. That is the thing that I know, crazy. I'm anti-Hitler. Now, here's a question to you guys, okay? Do you think if you'd been around back in 1939, you might have said something like, yeah, if I could just snap my fingers and magically coup Hitler and have him replaced with, non-Hitler people, I would do that? That would be kind of preferable to the whole war on the Western Front, wouldn't it? That'd be a little bit slightly maybe preferable. Maybe we could have finished the whole thing 6 years earlier and not and not had as much Holocausting take place, possibly. Just my opinion, At the end of the day, we have to accept a couple of key facts here. There's just no getting around that, you know. There's just no getting around this, okay? Russia is a aggressor in this instance, okay? Their annexation of Crimea was illegal internationally, reprehensible, indefensible, and a thuggish land grab, the likes of which you almost never see from developed countries these days. It's terrifying that in a modern post-nuclear world, a country like Russia thinks they can just seize and annex territory, that you can just do regular invasions. There's a reason those don't happen that much anymore, you know. And now, Crimea River, for my mispronunciation. And now, Russia is again posturing violence. They have been funding insurrectionists, secessionists in eastern Ukraine. They have been weighing heavily. They've been saying that a red line for them is Ukraine joining with NATO when the Ukrainian population wants to join with NATO. And there are people online saying right now that if the NATO, the United States, the EU, whatever, were to side with Ukraine or to defend them, that would be an act of aggression on our part. On our part? How exactly would it be aggression on our part? Ridiculous. The Ukrainian population is afraid of Russia. They want to be protected by NATO. NATO has not invaded Ukraine. NATO establishes traditional diplomatic relations with the government of Ukraine. Russia does not. Russia invaded Crimea. Those are not traditional diplomatic relations. There's no moral equivocation here. Now, some people say, you know, oh, you say you want the coup. Yeah, I would have, if I could somehow snap my finger magically and have Putin taken care of, absolutely. Russia is a dying empire that wants to regain its former glory, and Putin is a anti-democratic, journalist-killing, warmongering piece of shit. Absolutely. If he got the old two-shot suicide to the back of the head, and someone less lunatic-y was put in power, he's been jumping back and forth between the president and prime minister of Russia. There is no democracy in Russia. For Christ's sake, people are terrified of publishing opposition polls in Russia. You know that, right? Even the Russians are afraid of him. The journalists, they get killed. They won't publish opposition polls. You can bitch and moan about America not being a free place all you want. If you are here in America, you can publish polls that make the United States government look bad all you want. What is the approval rating of Congress? What is it, 11%? You can do that all day. You'll never get shot. Has America done bad stuff? Yes. Is America terrible? Yes. Should America die? Yes. Fine, sure. But that has nothing to do with the fact that in this specific instance, Russia is undeniably the aggressor in Ukraine. And the promotion of Ukrainian sovereignty is an undeniable moral good. Literally illegal to criticize Putin in Russia. But you see, the U.S. We had McCarthyism, and like, well, if you look like over the past 100 years, there were some times when we shut up. Fucking Russian state agents all over the gray zone. You know, Jimmy Dore, who acts like one. America bad. We know America's bad. So are you. How American of you. If you could avoid the potential for millions of people to be displaced, thousands killed in some kind of land grab in Ukraine, with a simple magical CIA coup, would you do that? Yes, absolutely, undeniably. What, do you think you can make things in Russia worse? We're playing for the highest possible stakes here. You know, untrustworthy nuclear weapon armed states are literally the most destructive thing imaginable to the human race. There is nothing more capable of making life worse for everyone than despotic, land grabbing, unstable, chauvinistic, nationalistic, nuclear armed leaders. Yes, nuclear weapons are bad for your health. Now, thankfully, it doesn't really matter because CIA coups do not work that way. You can't just magically do that. So it's really just more of a hypothetical. But I stand by the hypothetical. Yeah, and I would know as an agent of the CIA. I am perfectly aware of their operational capacity. Russia's intelligence is so powerful. Yes. Well, you all understand, I'm sure. I'm so happy to have one of the only sane leftist audiences when it comes to foreign policy. We don't have Assadists in our community, nor China, nor Russia defenders. We don't have people here who are, you know, pledging allegiance to Borisenko. Wait, Carolyn Borisenko, that's another person. Okay, we don't have people pledging allegiance to Carolyn Borisenko. Who am I thinking of? Lukashenko. That must be who I am thinking of. Lukashenko, Borisenko. Okay, there we go. There we go. And we don't have people here who are, you know, I swear to God, they're going to start talking about Ukraine the way they talk about Taiwan. Oh, Ukraine's not really a country. Sure, there are like embassies, but really historically, it's a part of Russia's landmass. So this is, the fight between Ukraine and Russia is really just a civil dispute that has nothing to do with outside. They're going to do it. In fact, they already are doing it. It's currently... Yes, that's how Putin talks about it now. Yes, yes. The Russification, yeah, that's the Russian nationalist line. So all the RT dipshits and gray zone cocksuckers are going to be saying it, repeating it ad nauseum, blah, blah. Worthless pieces of shit. Imperialist fucks. Shu, get on stream right now.
Boss bad, boss bad, boss bad.
What? Or a little after. Yes. Shu. Shu, can you explain to me how exactly it's imperialist to defend Ukraine against foreign aggression when Ukraine's government and its population wants that defense and the nation aggressing upon them has no legal right to the territory they are trying to and have already acquired?
Boss bad, boss bad.
Interventionist, sure, we do intervene, but imperialist, I don't see how.
Boss bad, boss bad, boss bad.
Want every country to America? Is that a meme? Shu. It's an obvious meme. I don't know. I've always felt Shu has a bit of a blind spot when it comes to foreign policy. Anti-imperialism and anti-interventionism aren't the same thing. In fact, sometimes they actually have contradictory goals. By being anti-interventionist, you can enable imperialism, and appeasement does nothing to keep the world safer. All you're really doing is giving the world over to the most vicious imperialists if you refuse to involve yourself at all. No. Anyway, worth considering. Shu actually makes a guest appearance in the next bit here. Because you see, for some reason which is utterly beside me, Hunter Avalon took it upon himself to defend my organization. So noted, Shu. Is the CIA perfect? No. Have they had scandals in the past? Yes. But there's no denying the CIA has access to resources that ultimately deliver superior and more accurate data and insights. Logging out now, winky kiss. Seeing sort of the end point of technocratic liberalism here, perhaps. Though I do appreciate him repping my employers. I have a middle ground take on the CIA. Of course, Shu, digs into this. They argue for quite some time. It's significant. I ate popcorn, I don't understand why this is such a difficult thread for people to follow. In the modern nation state... Wait, I'm sorry, hold on. So do you support intervention/coup in the USA by the foreign countries? If they could levy an argument for harm reduction... First of all, interventionism happens all the time. If you can make an argument that magically coupping the USA would prevent, like, some horrible stuff, then yeah, sure. Like, if you could, like, meaningfully make that argument. I think a critical distinction, though, is that America is a democracy and Russia is not. Deposing Putin doesn't really intercede the will of the sovereign public in the way that America's does. And we don't have much of a democracy, but... No, yeah. It's not really meaningful, though, because that's not going to happen. Whereas, America is controlled by... massive conglomerate of oligarchical interests and corporations. Russia is controlled essentially by one person and his stooges. There's a very different hierarchy of command. Anyway, by the way, guys, hey, anyone who's mad at me, if you have, what, you think people should just be able to declare war all day? What, Russia? You're like, no, don't defend our allies against Russia. No, you can't say it would be better if you replace their leaders. What, you just want Russia to take over the globe? Jesus. What, was no suggestion? Seriously, what is the alternative? Just let them do what they want? Look, you have three options. You retaliate with military force and invite nuclear war, possibly. You levy sanctions and try to cripple them economically. Or you let them do what they want. What do we... No, I don't want to do any of those three. I just want to complain the U.S. is bad too. Yeah, I know. Thank you. Anyway, listen. With regards to the CIA, very simple stuff, okay? All nation states need intelligence agencies. This is a fact. Lefties can cry if they want about it. It is a fact. Any nation state that doesn't have an intelligence agency will be swiftly undermined and taken over by neighboring ones. It is absolutely critical that they have them. The CIA is... I'd say almost inarguably the worst intelligence agency in the history of the concept of intelligence agencies in terms of prolonged monstrous behavior. The number of countries they have assisted in destabilizing, coupping. And by the way, not coupping to prevent nuclear war. Coupping for American business interests. Very different things there. Monstrous, miserable fucking institution. When people say abolish the CIA, I applaud them. We need intelligence agencies, but we don't need this intelligence agency. It's like, it's like, it's like, you have a retinue in a restaurant and you have a chef, and the chef is like shitting in every pot of soup. And people are like, you should get rid of that chef. They're shitting in every pot of soup. And you're like, what, you want to just get rid of the chef? We need a chef. Why can't we just reform that shit chef to shit in soup less? I don't know. Maybe we just need a different chef. Possibly. It's my personal opinion. Anyway, I'll talk about this with anyone. I would love to talk about this. Anyone who disagrees. Who dares? Shu will not dare. Fine. Okay. Does Kyle disagree? Kolinsky? Probably. I'll talk about it. Who? Breaking Points? Crystal? I'll force my way onto their show. I need to know, what do you think we should do about Russia? Because the non-interventionist line is not sufficient here. History made mockeries of the people who were non-interventionist on the whole Hitler business, did they not? Oh, you're right. No, Hitler's much worse than Putin. Fine, but the logic is secure. And also, Putin has nukes, Hitler didn't. In terms of relative capacity for harm, any nuclear-armed state can escalate things way farther than a non-nuclear-armed state could. Do you understand? Do we agree? Does this sound rambling to you? Do I sound incoherent? In truth, I don't even know what counter-arguments I'm supposed to levy, because I don't even know what arguments people are to put in favor. What are you supposed to say? What, people say, oh, Ukraine and Russia are basically the same people. They should duke it out amidst themselves. No, they're not. Fuck you. Suck my dick. Die. Choke on cum. Explode. Let your stomach rupture. Be flooded with cum. That's not an argument. Die. That's my counter argument. So what do I say now? What's the next one? I don't know what the next one is. What's the next counter argument? That one's already dead. That is a kink. It's not my kink. Hopefully it was the person who died. It's kink. That would be a good way to go. I've got this segment. If you work for the CIA, why can't we get direct deposit? PayPal lets you direct deposit in like no time. Shut up. God. Excuse me. Just to clarify, do you disagree with Hunter's argument regarding CIA data? I have no doubt the Central Intelligence Agency has access to information the likes of which I can only dream of. I don't think that has any bearing on their worth or moral state, though. Like, you could say that about... I'm sure the SS had more info than the average American. Like, I don't know what the relationship is. It's not a... I don't think that speaks at all to their worth or their moral... If the argument is we need some kind of intelligence agency to gather data on foreign adversaries or just stuff like that, then yeah, I agree with it. But that's like universal, you know? Cuba has its own CIA. The Soviet Union did. Russia does today. China does. Every country has a foreign intelligence. Every country. You can't not have one. Every modern country has spies. You need to have them. It's absolutely essential. Oh, well, yeah, Full Metal Episode. I mean, nothing I'm saying is going to happen anyway. Fucking reforming or replacing the CIA. I don't have that power. Yeah, of course, Daddy Fallen. We have multiple intelligence agencies, yes. All right, let me see. I have no doubt, Kalinda. The issue is that Hunter Avalon unfortunately expressed his opinions on Twitter in what I would say is an almost maliciously incorrect Where was his triggering the commies? Yeah. I love triggering commies. If you don't trust our institutions, then who do you trust? Shu said the CIA needs to be abolished. Hunter said touch grass. Holy shit. Being condescending. Yeah, I don't... Alright, hold on. Fuck, we're not gonna get to read all the donos. That tweet sounds like Destiny. Yeah, a little bit. A smidge. I got a transparent background version, but the quality is lower. Oh, that doesn't matter. It's gonna be... Oh, dude, that looks... I wonder how the hard edges of the clouds will look when transparent. I guess we can find out. Well, here, let's... I can't zoom out further. Yeah, that looks pretty damn good. I'll test it in a bit. Anyway, I'll test it shortly. Here, we need to do this quick. All right, hold on. First of all, banger drop. The Christmas drop from Sweet Myths, the band behind Voshrat.
The airport is cold, hoping to be at home by now. My flight got delayed, I'm actually stuck in Alden town. Debate was a wash, maybe there'll be some spicy clips. I should have stayed at home with my babies that bite and kiss. Wishing to pet that raw dumb chicken while eating my chunky fluffy kitten. Babies, I'll be home by 10. I'm gonna give both of you head pats, then I'll grab those little beans while you're sitting on my screen. Honor me under the Christmas tree and pigeon comfy in my stocking. I'll probably postpone the stream 'cause it's Christmas Eve and I actually miss my baby.
This is so goddamn nice.
I see falling snow, it sent shivers down my spine. And all I can think is getting home before Christmas time. Hoping to eat some chicken tendies and curling up with both of my babies. Kitties, I'll be home by 10. I'm gonna give both of you head pats, then I'll grab those little beans while you're sitting on my screen. Pigeons climbing the mistletoe and autumn's purring soft and slow. I'll probably postpone the stream 'cause it's Christmas Eve and I actually miss my baby.
Yeah, I wish the cats could know they have a song about them. But they're dumb, they'll never know. They don't even know they have fans. They're just like, oh, there's a large...
Holy shit, the cats! Stop!
This slaps so fucking hard. These rips are so juicy.
Armies biting on my nose and pigeons meowing out the door. Now what do you want with me? Are you trying to be on street? Getting in the shower, ring every hour. Berman, get him out of here, send him to Conyer. It's Christmas Eve and I want a street.
It's so good! This slaps so fucking hard. Must feel so weird to have songs written about you, Bosch. Yeah, well, it does wonders for my ego. Listen. All right. Yeah, it's not the last time you'll be hearing that song. That is from the band Sweet Myths, okay? They unironically slap, okay? Seriously, they unironically slap. It's not just something I'm saying promotionally or out of some sort of misbegotten obligation because they've done nice things for me, which they certainly have. It's actually because they're really fucking good. Oh, we should comment on the video, that's right. Yeah, this goes so hard. Please screenshot. But they do like shows and stuff. Sweet Myths, not just like an internet band or whatever. They've done like, you know, proper work. Yeah, there you go. Get the thing a working. Yeah, we're certainly not the last we'll be hearing of that. This is, however, the last you'll be hearing of me today. Because unfortunately, I went over and I have some stuff that I need to do. But I should be streaming tomorrow, ideally earlier than noon. I postponed stream by an hour just in case I got a headache again, which I did get this morning, but I was able to ward off with magic, you know, sacrificing goats and everything else. The donations have been incredibly kind today. Let me see if I can't do a speed run. See if I can't do a speed run, like at least with some of these. I think maybe a little bit. We'll take it to 5 minutes. 10. Vermin. We can head after 10. 10. Okay. Liz Square, thanks to 5 gifted tier 1 subs. Thank you so much for the kindness. Yes, the you know, taxes reaped from the kingdom. The Emma Conjecture, Full Metal Socialist, Leftist Owl, hello. And Gorlex, thank you for the $5 all. I really appreciate that. As someone who's recently got some exposure due to the Han stuff, any suggestions for dealing with waves of criticism? Ignore it. Don't trick yourself into believing that listening to the criticism of people who dislike you is like part of self-improvement. It's not. Saying anything bad about the Thailand crown, even over the internet, can get you to 3 to 5 years for every insult if you visit. Yep, I've heard that actually. Not going over there, I don't think. I've not Emma Conjecture, but I can look into it. Bad to the Bow, thank you so much for the incredibly kind $50. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you. Ian, your mission, deceive the left into reaffirming right positions for the good of the state. Code word Sussy Jussie. Ha! No wonder we're on point today. We've been activating my fed almond juice. Thank you. I appreciate that. Jammy, thank you for the very kind 2 gifted tier 1 subs. Maybe that wouldn't be a bad idea. Evil Grin, thank you for the tier 2 sub. Glad to hear you're enjoying Rules for Radicals. Literally Judas, thank you for the incredibly kind $10. Really appreciate that. WowWee trend started when I was on D Live for a month. Whatever people get into. HTC Sergey Mail, thank you for the 200 rubles. As a Russian, my opinion on the economic sanctions, they mainly affect the working class. The desperate Putin's oligarchy don't give a shit. They never do, so objectively nothing will change. Well, if the peasantry are discontent, it might lead to lower satisfaction. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. The Sarcastic Banana, Mind Forged, and Jog Herdium. Thank you for the tier 1 subs all. I really, really appreciate those. Thank you. Axel MB, thank you for the very kind 5 gifted tier 1 subs. Thank you. Yes, purging the whites from chat. Very good. Thank you. Axel Splode, thank you for the $10. Please validate my need for attention by choosing the emote I made. You can't bribe me. They were the person who did the other kill yourself emote. You can't bribe me, motherfucker. I'm unbribable. Yandrius, thank you for the very kind $25. Begone Debt. Long-time viewer, first-time dono. It's the least I can do. TY for your content, Bubba. Thank you, Yandrius. I really appreciate that. I'm more than happy to provide the content. I'm glad you like it. Stephen Garforth and Navid Nakai, thank you for the $2 both. Yeah, Rogan had Blair White on. We'll probably take a look at that soon. Full Metal Socialist and Soviet Ball, thank you for the $5 both. I don't know anything about the totally not Mark Toei situation, Full Metal Socialist, I'm afraid. Yeah, I got you, Soviet Ball. Art from the artist. Title Mancrest, thank you for the very kind $10. Thank you, I appreciate that. Happy to help you out of the Doomer Tanky hole. Paul DSSB, thank you for the 5 gifted tier 1 subs. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. Why donate 25 when you can purge 5 white names? True. Extremely true. And Steely McWheely with the 5 gifted tier 1 subs. XOXOXO. No doubt a similar thought. Thank you very much. None of you owe me anything, just so you know. I know you know that, but still. No payments and Jacob Lopez, thank you for the $5 both. True. Brian Cameras, the $10. What's your overall rating of the Prime Trilogy? 9.5 out of 10. Because I think I'm going to end up rating the last one a 9 out of 10. Maybe like an 8 out of 10. But I feel like 1 and 2 might legit be 10s. Or at least number 2 would be a 10, I think. Bricklair, thank you for the gifted tier 1 sub. Really appreciate that. Red Cactus, thank you for the 5. Sorry for making you look at Nigel Farage. I know. Quoteth and Still Alive, thank you for the $5 both. Yes, Starbucks workers won big the other day for unions in Buffalo. And, excuse me. Quoteth said, Vosh, I took out another student loan debt just to make sure my favorite streamer is fed. Thank you. Thank you. Everyone here should be taking out student loan debts to help donate to me. Very true. Very true. CEO of Plasma Pistol Gang and K-Comrade Robin Hood, thank you for the $5 both. No promises on Halo Infinite's campaign being played on stream. And yes, the Ukraine is not full of Nazis. The Azov battalion is cringe, and I do not deny that, but it's not like it's like a whole fucking Russia versus Nazi situation. Jolp Fligvik, thank you for the tier 2 sub. Really appreciate that. Congratulations. Hope your finals pass easily, and I hope that you get your psych sciences and minor in sociology degrees soon. Puzosaurus, thank you for the very kind $10. Artemis, friend Artemis, Merry Christmas to you. And your friend Puzosaurus loves you. K-Comrade Robin Hood, the $5. By Russia defenders' logic, it was justified for Hitler to take Austria because they're ethnically German and were oppressed by their government. They're just fash. True. Or the Sudetenland, yeah. Like, literally, it's the same logic. I did, Bebop Synth Guy. I did hear about that. Thank you. Vovu, $5. My gay coworker gave me his number, but I'm straight. What do I do? Go play video games. Hang out. Vibrant Peacock, thank you for the $5. These are the type of people who'd stand a burning building and complain the fire alarm is repetitive and noisy. I assume that you are referring to the Dr. Fauci bit, in which case, yeah. Full Metal Socialist, thank you for the tier 4 sub. Really appreciate that. Would you consider doing a material conditions for socialism segment / step-by-step what we need to achieve before socialist revolution, like Politics 101? I kind of have an older video like that, my steps towards socialism, but yeah, I think it would be worthwhile. It's definitely something worth looking into. Gotcha, Vermin. Gotcha, Vermin. Aguni, thank you for the €2. True. Adam Puckett, thank you for the very kind $20. I am blind and can edit images as long as I know the algorithm for each pixel. Red is on the left, green in the middle, blue is on the right. That's how I can tell colors. That seems like an awful lot of work, I'm not going to lie. I'm not sure what the relevance of that is, but I believe in you. Rick Lair, thanks to tier 1 sub. I get that. Buradoo, thank you for the $5. I have not seen Log Horizon, but I plan to one day. Unknown Soldier and Pseudonym, thank you for the $5 both. Really appreciate that. Yes, tall girls are hot. That is extremely true. Daniel D, thanks the $2. TWS1 Man and Maggie LaViolet, thank you for the tier 1 subs both. Really appreciate that. Zap and NPC Porky and a Space Whale, thank you for the tier 1 subs. Oh, thank you, Zap. Happy to have you back here. You can enjoy whoever you like. Any, thanks the 2 gifted tier 1 subs. One Shook Boy likewise. Thank you very much. Oh, we're actually running down the remaining donations. I might be able to finish these. Torgos Hand, thank you for the very kind $10. Joe Brogan is a little man and he wants you to pee on him. Ben Shapiro is also a little man and he too wants you to pee on him. It is known. JBZO2, thank you for the tier 3 sub. I really appreciate that. Vosh, here's my payment to you after fisting your dad with his consent. As long as it's all above board, I'm not offended. Inca Blue, thank you for the 210. Pighead, isn't that what David Cameron got? Ha! True! Lowercase Horse 2, thanks the £5. If this works, then it was free. Nice! Thank you for the free super chat. I hear they've been giving those out from time to time sometimes. Will G. Wilson, thank you for the very kind $15. I won LGBT Jeopardy at the GSA meeting today. Gay Straight Alliance. There was a question on who coined the term intersectionality, and I only knew the answer thanks to you. Oh! Awesome! I'm happy to hear that. You're welcome. I hope you got lots of money and are wealthy now. Some rare-based Biden. What is it, Shu? Oh, that is nice. I am deeply troubled by... No, that's Nixon, not Biden. No, that's more Bush Sr. I am deeply troubled by reports of Kellogg's plan. I think that's... No, is that Reagan? It's either Reagan or Bush Sr. Whatever. Yeah, okay. There's the message. Thank you, Biden. It's more Reagan. It's Reagan or Bush Sr. It's one of the two. Jog Herdium, thank you for the incredibly kind $25. Begone debt. Thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't mean to guilt you guys out of your damn money. And Vashashish, thank you for the $25. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate that. Strike debt, baby. Fucking getting me today, man. Apostate Alexei, thank you for the very kind $10. I don't feel guilty. I just think you're a great person. I find value in what you do, and I want to help. Thank you. Well, I appreciate that. Relevant to what I've said. Ardry, thank you for the $20. Hey, Voosh, finished the 25-page capstone for my BA in history on Thursday. Thank you for helping me through the semester by giving me something to look forward to. Oh, of course, my pleasure. Happy to keep folks entertained and engaged, and I hope that the academics have been going well. Tyra's and Duck Shoes, thank you for the $5 both. I have not seen the Curio review series on the Witcher games, show, and books. And I might play Warhammer 40k Space Marines too. I never played the original. Voosh CIA handler with the $25. Thank you so much. Vosh, this is your CIA handler. Really. Your kill trigger phase is horsecock, and I'm going insane watching you just do politics streams. I've been playing plenty of video games. We played Metroid Prime for like 10 hours, the last stream. That kill phrase is going to come up pretty damn often. Nathan Knightman, thank you for the $10. Yeah, I don't think clickbait's inherently wrong. Soystony, nice name. Thank you for the very kind tier 4 sub. I really appreciate that. Okay, but when is there going to be a hot tub stream with Lauren Southern playing League with TTS reading out? Okay, buddy Vosh. I don't want to be anywhere near Lauren Southern, hot tub stream or otherwise. Nor do I want to play League. Honestly, what you're describing to me right now is not pleasant at all. But thank you for the consideration. Jen Archer 13 with the unbelievably kind $50 donation. Add this to the debt snowball. My friend will be much pleased. Thank you. I really, really appreciate that. Jesus, you guys. It's very kind of you. Okay, Comrade Robin Hood, thank you for the very kind $5. Yes, Biden is being a bitch. He should pledge to immediate nuclear annihilation of Russia if they invade Ukraine. Agreed. Brandon C, thank you for the very kind $25. I really appreciate that. Vosh-based, Vosh-based, Vosh-based. Head up to people in the Twin Cities area on January 10th. There will be a rent control demonstration. Be there or be square. Twin Cities area. There you go. Now you know, don't you? Be there or be square. You don't want to be square, do you? Come on, lads. Aguni with the €5. Why is Bad Bunny cool with Hassan and Demon Mama, but not you? Bad Bunny is cool with people when they can make her money. Hassan hasn't given her any reason to dislike, because her only actual overriding principle is whether or not, they can essentially, by alienating either, she can potentially cut people out from her audience. Whereas I've already spoken ill of her, so she'll hate me with every fiber of her being. Remember when she wouldn't talk with Lumi because Lumi associates with me, when Demon Mama associates with me far, far more, but they're on good terms. It's not consistent. It's literally just profitable. It's profitable to be cool with Hassan. Sake Tanuki, thank you for the very kind $20. Okay, buddy Vosh, before New Year's. That's a guarantee. We're going to try to do it at least once a month. Absolutely. Quasi Kyle with the $5. Vosh, why does every stream need to have a shit analogy and a cum joke? They don't. I just like doing them. Sake with the 4 gifted tier 1 subs. Thank you very, very much. The next game will be to provide tax brackets for Vosh's socialist state. Vosh game. True. Which would be 100% starting from $0 income yearly up, of course. No money allowed. And Morgana with the $5. Congratulations on paying off your car. That's fantastic. I hope it doesn't break down or anything bad happens to it. All right. The only people remaining are linkers, who aren't really people at all, actually, but a sort of sickly pantomime of personhood, who needn't earn any of our respect. We're going to raid Demon Mama. Because why not? I love you all very much. You are beautiful people. I'm glad you enjoyed the stream. I felt like I was on point. I'm engaged. I'm also very hungry. So I'm going to go fix that problem, eat a protein bar as I do my errands. You all take care. I will see all of you tomorrow.